Good morning, chat. How are we all? Today is a charity day. Today, all the donations that we see today are going direct to charity. They're going straight to Race Texas to help the kids on the border. I'll be pulling the guys in very shortly. Yeah, that's where we are right now. This is it's going to be a fun session. It's going to be fun, a lot of fun. So I hope you guys are looking forward to it. We've got an all-star cast coming up, and I apparently have learned to multitask because I am now talking to you and setting up the backdrop for these guys, which, you know, isn't something I'd normally be able to do. Good morning, Katie. Good morning, KKRP. Good morning, Wilson Hobbit. Good morning, all of you. Katie, get some sleep. You're up late. What are you doing? I'm joking, of course. As if I want to talk. There we go. There we go. That looks sweet. Lots of loud clicking. That's real funny though. Okay, so without further ado, let's go and get the guys. Oh, hi you guys, we are live.
Yay!
Hello!
Kill
Hello!
that. Make sure I'm in the game. I'm in the game. Awesome. Hello, so guys, welcome, one and all. Thank you for coming with me today to come and raise some money for charity. We'll go around and introduce ourselves. Greg, would you like to go first or last?
I'll go whenever you would like me to go. If you want me to go now, at the end,
Well, I mean,
I'll go now. I'm going now. Now is what I'm going. Hi, everybody. It's early in the morning for me. I'm Grimjack21502 on the Twitches and the Twitters. I'll be your keeper today. So as we buckle up and get set for our transatlantic flight, I have a few pre-flight checks to still do. So I'm going to hand it off to everybody else as I design some madness.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So why don't we go around in camera order? So that actually does put me first. I didn't plan this, but it does put me first. Today I'll be playing Ignacio Atticus Monti, who is flying today in coach for the first time. It's summer, so he's brought his summer gear with him, and he is most confused about Dottie and Susan, who I'm sure we'll hear more from very shortly. In fact, very shortly, because next up is Giga Bookworm. Good morning and welcome.
Hello, hello, hello. Hi, I am Angeli. I will be playing Dottie. She's a 27-year-old. Yeah, so Susan is my twin sister. Oh, I'm getting a lot of weird feedback. Sorry. Oh, just...
Sounds like it might be stream open or something.
Yeah, I'm getting some weird feedback. Just bear me a second. Sorry. There we go. Sorry. Hello. Sorry. Hi, I'm Dottie. And I am Susan's twin, who you'll meet in a minute. 27 years old, London born and bred, photographer, working in a very cool Carnaby Street. I take a lot of photos of London life, and I've just spent some time in Miami taking some pictures of Miami life. It's a little bit different, but I liked it. And now I'm on my way home.
Awesome. Fantastic. And next up we have Marcy. Good morning, Marcy. How are you?
Good morning. I'm great. Hi, I'm Marcy Vellon, and I will be playing René Lefebvre today, who is a French gentleman, a stuntman who just got off of set in which they had to cancel the film because somebody died. Somebody who he was supposed to be the stuntman for, who maybe out of pride decided, no, I'm doing my own stunts today in a perfectly American way, and died doing just that. So they've canceled the film project. It's considered cursed, and he's going back to Europe to do some more films. During this time period, I'm thinking it was probably a cowboy film. They've got a lot of those right now.
Clint Eastwood's dead?
Yeah. Right? What a weird alternate reality this is. He was not feeling Lucky Punk.
Oh, it went there. And so next we welcome Castle Mac Sean.
Hello, everyone. I am Castle Mac Sean, found on Twitter as Castle Mac Sean. Though Castle Mac is not my real first name, it's just Sean. Yeah, you guys can find me typically on the Castle Mac channel doing D&D games. So this is my first non-D&D game in a while. And I will be the Southern con man Hannibal Rex to his friends, Reigns. That's of the Baton Rouge Reigns, if any of you are familiar. And now I'm headed to London to talk to a few people about maybe some goods to go across the water, completely above board, nothing illegal.
Of course, yeah. And so last but not least, welcome Kat.
So I'm Kat. You can find me on Twitter as @CatTulip. Again, like Sean, I largely talk, play D&D. You can find me in the Pocket Moment podcast talking D&D. So this is my first Call of Cthulhu. It's the first time I have experienced the madness, which I'm very much looking forward to. I know I'm in utterly safe hands with our keeper, who will obviously keep the madness away from us, because who wants that on a flight? I am Susan, and like my twin sister, I'm 27, London born and bred. I'm an artist, darling. I'm largely specialised in sculptures, body paint, anything. A bit of a hippie, really getting into the summer of love, slowly cruising into the 70s and the hippie vibe. And we've been having a lovely time in Miami. I've been painting lots of bodies, and now it's time to go home and paint more bodies in London.
Lovely, absolutely fantastic. And I think you're not alone in this being your first Cthulhu. This is also my first Cthulhu.
Mine too.
Yeah, and Angeli's as well. So Greg, be gentle. But with that, we hand over to you, Greg.
Thank you very much. And nothing makes me happier than to hear people haven't played Cthulhu before, not because it's nefarious, which it is, not because it's sinister, which it is, but because I think it's a great system. And I think myself, when I first started playing, I thought it was something different than what it really was. And we discussed this a little bit in the green room. Hopefully everybody will see what it can be, whatever you want it to be. It can be a very long, research-driven type of story. It can be a short, quick, Twilight Zone-y type of one-shot, which I hope that we can accomplish today. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, airline travelers of all ages, we are going to dive into July 20th, 1969. When the moon is in the 7th house and Jupiter aligns with Mars, then peace will guide the planets and love will steer the stars. This is the dawning of the age of Aquarius. Peace and love have become weapons against war, and demonstrations against the established order have become more prevalent. The world is a smoldering brand atop a powder keg. The perfect time for shadowy forces to do shadowy things. But that's neither here nor there. We are currently boarding a transatlantic flight, Pan Am 101, from Miami to London's Heathrow Airport, during which time there have been demonstrations, but the majority of the eyes of Florida are headed far upward to the heavens, as at some point in the next several hours, two American men, two astronauts, are set to touch down and be the very first human beings on the moon, or a soundstage, whichever conspiracy theory you're believing. But that's neither here nor there, as the boarding process has begun. And as the boarding process begins on this great jet airliner, this 747, this queen of the skies, we drill down farther through the clouds, which we will inhabit soon, down into Miami, down into the international airport, to gate 13, where we see boarding onto the plane the first class citizens come on first, as we have Renee in seat 2A. So as you walk in, the stewards and stewardesses come up and they take your ticket and indicate in this vast space, this huge craft, and they point you further forward towards the nose of the plane and first class. So when you walk in, Renee, what do you look like?
He's Renee is a not an overbearing, but just a very well built, tall man. Pretty physically fit, but right now he carries himself in a way that's very uncomfortable. He's still a little shaken by the events on the set, and a little bit what's the word? Surprised at loud noises, like any sort of loud noises. But he, as he walks, sorry, go ahead.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but did Renee witness the death?
Yeah.
He was on set.
Yeah, he was on set. He was supposed to be in the place of the person who died. So he's still a little shaken from that. It was yesterday. He is dark-haired and olive-skinned. He has a mustache that is not like the one that I have. It's a little more like this one. And he's got he wears a simple chain around his neck with a small Christian symbol on it. And he takes his seat. And he's a little weirded out by how big this plane is, how big this section is. I believe that he probably got this first class seat as a gift from the plane, from the the company, the movie company.
Yeah, absolutely. The movie studio definitely upgraded Renee's flight to London because of the circumstances. Now, just for my personal knowledge, when Renee witnessed this, was this the fault of the actor that wanted to do his own stunt? Or was this something that just happened that you would have definitely been killed regardless of your stunt ability had you been in there?
So they had actuaries on the set assessing risk and the like, and this was a 1,000-to-1 chance that the rigging that they had set up, this apparatus, would snap. And there was a scene in which I guess a cowboy had to jump over something, and then the entire structure just collapsed on them.
Thank you very much to Karahem.Aussie, who donates £25 for one critical success to each player, please.
Ozzy has just helped you very much. So yes, please remember that you have one of those critical successes. So should you find yourself in a dire situation or multiple dire situations, pick that time to save your life. Okay, so great, Renee. So having witnessed that, though, with that rigging snap, even if you, a professional stunt person, had been in that scene, you would have been killed, because there would have been there was no stuntman or actor error. It was sheer random happenstance that, definitely shaken. So Renee's able to take their seat, and as they sit down and look out, you see the opposite side of the plane and the tarmac of Miami, as it is roughly mid-afternoon. The heat is still pretty oppressive, this time in southern Florida, but inside the 747, the Pan Am 101, it is nice and temperate. As we go back to the onboarding section, and we see our next person come in, also a first class passenger in seat 4K. Hannibal, you've been upgraded.
I think he is clapping his hands. He is a man of about 42 years of age, also has a mustache, a slightly permanent smile on his face, engaging with people as he walks through. Just hello, you ready for the flight? Excellent, myself as well. I'm first class. You see, I think he called and scammed his way into first class. Made it sound like he was far more important, and he had business with the airline. I also think he's maybe looking out slightly paranoid. I think going to London He's pretty much grifted everybody in Miami at this point, and I think is feeling the heat to leave after owing a few sums of money to a number of people.
So it's a forced vacation.
Yes, but all of those are just opportunities.
Right.
But this
right.
is, his first time flying first class, and I think his first time being outside of the U.S., at least in Europe.
Nice. So as Hannibal is able to make his way forward, the flight crew directs you at several different stations. And since you're the last one to go to first class, we'll sort of describe to the audience what's going on as you guys enter midship, so to speak. And guys, in Roll20, I did put down I don't know if anybody had a chance to look at it. There's a 747. Yeah, there's a map in there. And so as you guys are entering roughly midship and heading towards the nose of the plane, you pass through two different sections on your way there. And each section you pass through gets progressively nicer. The seats get more plush. The seats get wider. There seem to be more amenities around. There's additional staff for fewer people in each little section until you finally get through to the nose of the plane, which is very, very luxurious. And as Renee is already there taking their seat in this big wide chair, Hannibal can take their seat at the 4K in an identical chair. And as everything is set, drinks are immediately served by your staff in first class. As soon as you get there, there is somebody there taking a drink order. Oh, may I help you? Oh, please. What can I get for you? Introducing themselves. And since you are the last in, I will let you know that the flight crew for the first class is there are Billy and Florence. So Billy and Flo, but everybody calls her Florence because this is first class. They will be your steward and stewardess for this, as flight attendant terms come around in about the 80s. So we're about 15 good years away from having a moniker that's not quite as demeaning. But as you guys are sitting there and as you're able to order your stuff, also the captain has allowed the smoking sign to be on, which it will be at probably the majority of this flight. So feel free to smoke away. As we know at this time, the Surgeon General sees nothing wrong with it. So go right ahead. Everything is perfectly fine. So as you guys are going through too, and Hannibal, as you are led through, you are taken to first class. And as you pass through each of these sections, you realize that they're pulling curtains behind you. It's the very literal definition of the separation of classes here aboard the airplane. And they're very thick, kind of that blue velvet curtain. And it actually dampens sound and anything else that goes through. But there are definite sections to each of this plane. This plane is made up of a caste system. Also on your way, Hannibal, as you reach the first section that you go in, you see a wide spiral staircase that goes up to what they are calling, or what you see a placard for, the Traveler's Lounge. And the Traveler's Lounge is the premier frequent flyer flight club seating that is on the second level of this 747 next to the cockpit. And as much as anyone would like to get up there, it is for the frequent flyers of first class. And apparently there's a steward at the bottom and a stewardess kind of halfway up, as it seems that even anybody that's met at the stairwell will be helped and aided, even if they physically do not require it. It seems to be the very top, figuratively and literally, of this Pan Am 101's caste system. But as we speak about this in first class passengers, it's time to talk coach. And so as we go back to the door, we go back and we see coming through the entrance the occupants or future occupants of seats 42B and 42C. Dottie and Susan, tell us about yourselves.
Oh, thanks. So Dottie is, she's 27. She is sort of upper middle class London, born in London, not incredibly wealthy, but wealthy enough that both her and her sister can pursue an artist's career rather than an actual career. And
Mommy and Daddy pay for enough that we can, just be artists.
yes. She lives in very trendy Carnaby Street at the moment, where there's a lot of very cool stuff happening. Lots of sightings of Twiggy and the likes around that area. She takes a lot of photos. She has her camera with her at all times, ready to, snap that great shot. She's more into sort of lifestyle and life photography, taking pictures of people out and about, what they're wearing, who they're hanging out with. And she's had a lovely time in Miami. It's a little bit warmer than she's used to, but the fashion is a little bit different, but she's enjoyed every moment of it, but is looking forward to getting back to London, back to her friends, so that she can really just like tell them how awesome it was and show off a little bit, because they probably are not going to be able to get a chance to go to America anytime soon. So good for me. Yeah, and I'm excited to be sharing the flight with my sister, who I'll pass over to now.
Right, and Dottie, just to visually, her visual look right now is very, and you've adopted the hippie culture, or you've grown with it as it's gone over the past couple years. So bright colors and
yeah,
much
so
like
basically what I'm wearing now. Yeah, so she's sort of taking her own spin on it, more sort of fashionista hippie rather than like straight up boho, whereas I believe that Susan may have gone the other way.
Straight up boho.
Yeah, and yeah, she's trying to put her own twist on it. Sort of wears her hair sort of long brown and sort of quite loose. But yeah, lots of flowers, lots of large, bright, in your face sort of colors. As much as she likes to photograph others, she's hoping that other people are photographing her as well.
Nice. So yes, from the flower child to the bohemian, let's see, what do we have as far as what Susan looks like, and I'll take it from there with your seating arrangements.
Okay, so Susan, obviously very similar to Dottie, 27. She's been in Miami, is going back to London. Very, they live in fashionable parts of London. They are all on the fashionable scenes. Whereas Dottie is much more a fashionata and into, the latest fashion. Susan's kind of really got into the boho lifestyle, really looking forward to the whole sort of 70s and hippie culture, and possibly is more into the hippie culture than maybe Dottie is. So possibly isn't entirely not on something. She's probably high, who knows what on, but she's really getting into that culture of, partying, staying up all night. She's probably stoned, but she, again, long dark hair. They look so similar. They're very different in personality and the way they are, but there's a real strong confusing look about the fact they're very similar, even though they're dressed differently.
And just quickly, thank you very much, Katie, for that £40 donation. And Greg, she just wants you to mess us up as much as possible, however much that can afford.
I can afford quite a bit, but
it also puts us £9 away from our first viewer decision style £100 goal. Yay. So, woo!
Fantastic.
Thanks, Katie.
Thank you.
Also, no thanks.
Right.
Thank
you,
lot, Katie.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Right.
We're so happy.
Okay, so Dottie and Susan, when you guys come in, you're met by one of the stewardesses. Her name is Marilyn. She works coach, and she takes you towards the rear of the plane. Much like whenever the first class passengers were taken, you pass through a section that is then curtained off behind you, which is today's like business travel, and then you get back into like the rear of the plane. You can actually see the rear of the plane as it kind of curves in the back as you are taken to your seats at 42 B and C. And as you guys are walking back, Marilyn, who is kind of, you can see that she is also working this area, but happened to be coming back when you guys entered and came back with you. She shows you all to your seats. And as she's kind of helping you for a moment, you see her and she takes her collar of her kind of high stewardess outfit and she pulls it down a bit, and each of you roll a spot hidden for me. Even Susan, who is just, she's still on the ground, but just a little more, has a little bit more altitude than everybody else.
Okay. Right. Character sheet. Oh, this is the first one. Spot hidden, yeah. Now where is that? There.
I have done that. Success for me.
Where does the number show?
It's in the Roll20 thing.
Oh, hang on. I've got to go back to that.
So I accidentally just closed Roll20, but
I
what
got
does that
extreme. I have no idea what that means.
Sorry, I was muted. Thank you. Thank you, Renee. This is a D100 system, so lower is better. So the lower that you get on the 1 out of 100 scale, the better it is for you. The higher, the worse. So with an 8, that is an extreme success, which
see
means
all the things.
you're seeing things that aren't really there. And
which
so,
is actually very true for the character.
right. And now you're not sure if what you're seeing is real, but it's beautiful and you love it. And your sister also sees it. So as Marilyn kind of pulls down her collar, as she's kind of helping you all and showing you everything and this is 1969, so coach is still pretty nice. You got plenty of leg room. It's not like, it's the chair in front of you is butted up against your knees, as is today's. But as you're sitting there and she pulls that down, you see that she has a peace symbol tattoo on her neck. And as she pulls back, she just kind of gives you a sign, because it's frowned upon by any corporate staff to actually display such signs of non-conformity. But she has a neck tattoo that shows she is at least fervent enough to mark her body with the movement. And finally, last but certainly least, as we go back to the door, we have Scrat describe for us the man that will be taking his seat in row 53F.
Well,
which is
Ignacio. He's stiff upper lip, prim and proper at all times, but does occasionally make the admission of wiping his brow with a hanky. He's wearing his full suit, of course, and I think he's actually like a business partner, perhaps, or an associate of Dottie and Susan's father. He's supposed to be dating one of them, but he's never really sure which one. So he's, first of all, miffed that he's not in first class. Second of all, miffed that he's not with Dottie and Susan. And third of all, miffed that he has to walk past all of these common people to get to the back. And he's like, oh, terribly sorry. Do have a good flight.
Trodden on some common.
Okay, so as Ignacio is taken back into the back, again, you see what everybody else sees as the curtains are drawn, kind of eliminating stages of the way that this Pan Am Flight 101 is laid out. You're taken to the rear. Once again, everything about this craft is very nice. It's clean, it's taken care of, but there is a definite decrease, a more Spartan quality towards the rear of the plane than what we have Renee and Hannibal experiencing at the cone of the plane. But you are all seated, and as soon as the rest of the crew comes in, the actual passengers, it's a very light craft because seemingly a lot of people are at home watching the potential moon landing. It's maybe, you would guess, 30% filled. So there are whole rows that are empty in this in every section of this plane. The other thing that is of notice to you that doesn't require a roll to anybody, there are no children on this flight. It's almost as if they were outlawed by some stretch of the imagination. It is, in fact, the greatest flight that has ever taken place, as there are no babies to cry when their ears pop. And become annoyances or kick seats or anything like that. So it seems to be all old people that are walking, or at least ambulatory enough to carry themselves and buy a beer should they wish it. So as you guys sit down and as the rest of the place fills up, the pilot's voice comes through and it says, flight crew, prepare for takeoff. And as the curtains are then drawn, you have this rumble as this great laden beast turns around and moves its bulk into position. And as the wings fire up with its multi-jet engines and lifts you all into the sky like some rough beast slouching its way towards London, you guys elevate, you feel the climb as you're pushed back into your seats. And as soon as you reach a nice cruising altitude, again, the drinks come around. So as the stewards and stewardesses come around to get drinks, who among you is having a drink? A frosty beverage or a okay. The girls, Susan and Bonnie, what's come over you two? Okay, so everyone's drinking except for everyone's drinking. What are the drinks of choice? Let's get this down. So Renee, as you and Hannibal have the ability to have been drinking since the beginning, what is the beverage of choice for Renee?
Renee just drinks. Oh, go ahead.
Also, Greg, we've just received another 20 pounds from Imwells just to reach and exceed the target. So we'll set a new target at 200 and we'll hit our first viewer decision, Greg.
First viewer decision right now. Okay, so viewers,
Yay.
let me see. What would I like here? Somebody's bag has been lost. Whose bag has been lost?
Ignatio's.
Which of the characters have lost their bags? Now, what this will mean is anything that was put into the cargo hold will now be currently on a flight to Argentina. So if anybody has a personal artifacts or personal effects, they will be going to Argentina. So as I go around and get your drink order, this is the perfect time to ask if you do have anything you would like to declare that has been placed in the cargo hold. And now what this means for me in 1969, while air flight and air travel was still regulated very heavily, it wasn't nearly as regulated as it is now. So if somebody actually had a firearm or something that would be deemed a weapon, they could actually transport it on a private or a public aircraft, provided that it was declared and stowed in the cargo hold of the ship. So if anybody has something like that, let me know. Anything that might be deemed a weapon, like a knife or a set of shears or something like that, let me know. As I come and get your drink order, you can tell me what you have. So Renee, what's your drink order?
Renee drinks old fashioned. So, just a whiskey and fruit. As for what they're declaring, I imagine he has like all of his costume stuff, including real pistols that are filled with blanks.
Real pistols that are filled with blanks, right? Because back in the day, they didn't have fake guns. They just had real guns that just went bang.
Yes.
Hopefully. Right.
Yeah. So yeah, he has that going on. And you know what? He probably also is bringing home some things as well, but it's mostly like cowboy paraphernalia.
Okay, so maybe there might be a knife in there, like a just to make a show of it. They always have knives in their boots, snakes in their boots if you're Woody. But as long as all that goes down, okay.
Oh yeah, definitely. Actually, yeah, a live snake.
Live snake. Okay, yeah. Okay.
What's
Right.
more what's more from Texas than an actual snake?
Are we saying there's a
Right.
snake on this plane?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
That's supposed to be any mother. Right. Okay, so fantastic. Okay, so viewer decision people, you guys now know what is being carried by Renee. Should Renee be your target? Hannibal, what is your drink of choice, and do you have anything to declare?
Yeah, I will grab Florence and be like, yes, Florence, if you would be so kind, I would love another one of those 7 and 7s. I'll tell you what, that last one would have hair lipped the governor of Arkansas, and I'll be forever in your debt.
I will. And she runs off and is decidedly favorable in her poll as she is making the 7 and 7. Anything to declare, sir?
I think he has I don't know that he's much of a firearm man, but I do think he has at least a switchblade stowed away. He's played it fast and loose, and I think he's a quiet knife man, just in case. Not that anything's ever been proven.
Right. Knives are just the way of telling somebody you really love them because you're in close. As we go back into coach for Dottie and Susan, what are Dottie and Susan drinking, and do they have anything to declare? Watch, they'll be like armed to the teeth. You know, yeah, we're gonna shotgun.
Susan, you go first. No, you go.
So I'm going to be drinking some nice pink sparkling rosé. And to declare, well, I mean, I'm an artist and a sculptor, so I've probably got some my art stuff, so paintbrushes, paint things. I reckon a couple of scalpels in there as well for my sculpting tools, which are probably quite sharp, and possibly some recreational items that may be needed to calm my nerves later.
It's like, you know.
Oh, Greg, breaking up for anyone else?
Sorry, I just got the internet is unstable. Am I back?
Yeah. Sounds
Yeah.
like you're back. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You're frozen, but you're back.
Can I don't want to turn off and turn on. I'll ruin your stuff. Am I?
I can hear you.
We can. There you are. You're back.
Oh, yay! You suddenly woke up.
Yeah, about that.
Damn you, internet.
Oh no. I mean, if you do need to switch around, I can very quickly fix the overlay if you need to exit and enter again. I've become proficient at this.
I think this means we win the game.
Yay!
Yay!
We all survived.
Okay. Am I still frozen?
You're still frozen, but we can hear you. He says.
Yeah, I'll do whatever you would like, Scrat. If you want me to pop out and pop back in, but I am the host, so.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah,
okay.
if he pops out, it will
Can you
all
not
be
just
shot out.
shoot the host over to me? Whoops. I don't know how that's. Let's just close that again. For some reason, when I pop the window out over there, it makes extra frames. That's interesting. I won't do that again. We are using Zoom Cthulu.
Damn you, Zoom. Damn you, internet.
Do you want me to jump back out and jump in? I'm very sorry. My internet's showing full strength. I don't know if it's something from.
We can hear you.
Mm-hmm.
You just paused in this really great way where you've got your hand out to us. Like.
Yeah, it sounds like your sound's back. I don't know what's going on.
I'm gonna do the other hand so I can hold Greg's hand.
Oh yeah.
I'll
Maybe
jump
we
out and
can
jump
drag
back.
him in.
Come back to us, Greg. Sorry, internet. This could just be, a whole couple of hours of us going, Greg.
Yeah. Apparently, Greg, if you drop out, as long as you don't end the meeting, you can come back in easy enough. Tell you what, you guys, it's actually a little bit warm today.
It's bloody boiling.
It's actually
It
very
was like
cold
23 degrees.
It's very cold in Maryland right now. I walked out, it was like 60 degrees. It was super nice.
It's the same in Richmond. I was enjoying my 95-degree heat, and then I had to come back down to the freezing 60s.
I'm just burning
Can we
alive.
grab some more coffee real quick while we do this?
Yep, that's no problem. We'll take this opportunity to have a short break. I'll play some tunage. And,
We'll get coffee.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
So we're just taking a quick emergency break, guys, while people grab some teas and coffees. I've not muted you, Sean. You're still around.
All right. Well, I'm here.
I can
I'm
mute
here
you if
to
you
talk.
want to. Yeah, you can.
No, not at all.
Awesome. Yeah. So maybe I'll turn this music down a little bit or something. So happy. it's
Katie,
deceptive.
I also love summer rain, Katie, and the heat.
I'm not gonna lie, it is warm today. And this suit is also getting quite warm.
It looks like a thick suit. Plus you got
No,
the top hat on.
it's actually a summer suit. It is a summer suit. It's quite
Ooh.
thin cut despite its thick appearance.
It looks good.
Why, thank you. That's very much appreciated.
What's your background? Is that Scotland?
In Zoom it is, yes.
Yeah.
On stream I've got like a DM's desk sort of thing.
Oh yeah. As I switch, I can see it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I enjoy it. That's gonna be where Bookcom's gonna go. Renee is gonna come down here. Have we lost Greg? Is anyone in Twitch chat? Is he okay?
I don't have my phone on me.
Position number 2. There. I've lost a camera somewhere. Where have I put it? There it is. I found it. I got it. I got this.
Oh, hey, Miss Misery, what's up?
Welcome.
I think Cthulhu did get Greg. He's gonna come back as just a husk and a thrall of Cthulhu.
I mean, it's possible. OBS doesn't want to play for some reason. There we go.
Scrat, is this your first game of 24 hours?
No, I did a 30-hour stream earlier this year. I also did it while I had a cold, and I gave myself pneumonia when I did it. So I've left off for a few months to not do that.
To recover.
Yeah, which is a nice thing. Not killing yourself with games is cool.
Always good to
Yeah.
not make yourself ill and to rest and things. Scrap. That thing that you don't really understand.
I rest. I slept for a whole 7 hours yesterday.
That's
What?
a normal sleep. You do know 7 hours is like a normal sleep.
Oh, guys, something's gone horribly wrong with my chocolate.
Oh no.
What's happened?
Of all the things in Greg's internet zone, you're like, oh, my chocolate.
So Hershey's, right? And then
Oh no.
Oh.
No.
I knew it melted, but I wasn't expecting it to also keep its shape underneath a little bit in weird and terrifying ways.
Okay, I've got some cameras which show us. I'll switch to that. The background's not right and nothing's centered, and honestly, it's triggering my OCD. But it's fine. It's fine. This is fine. I'll fix it whilst we wait for Greg. So, you guys, I've never, like I said, I've never played Cthulhu before. Have any of you guys played with Greg before in Cthulhu?
No.
Ooh.
This is my first time with Greg. It's my first time with Cthulhu. It's all good.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I understand there's some of the. I mean, I've seen Kiena like she had to basically like I don't know like. Do you guys watch they play it later on today, don't they? Atomic Cthulhu or the other one that Katie was talking about in chat just a moment ago? I don't have a memory.
I don't know. I've been awake for ages. I've got a whole day ahead of me. The closest I've got to Cthulhu is actually with Kiana in Tales from the Twisted Tower, where chat decided that we had a Cthulhu baby.
A Cthulhu baby.
A Cthulhu baby grew out of one of the players. It was a great time.
That sounds awful. What have I signed up for?
Oh, he lost power. Oh, there we go. There's our keeper.
On the bright side, I've never experienced having to eat chocolate like an ear of corn before, so this is new.
It's a
I'm
day.
so sorry
I'm
about
ready
that,
to
man.
see you just
That's
go across.
fine. Welcome back.
I thought that can't possibly be me, and then the entire place lost power. I was like, oh, that is me.
Okay, well, we're back. I've already mentioned. I preemptively reset the scene, and I figured it out right. So everyone's in their right places. We're all back. It's all good.
Yay.
You're fantastic. Okay, so sorry about that, everybody. I was taking drink orders. We just had the rosé. We know that downstairs in the cargo hold, Susan has paints. She has scalpels. She has other implements of her trade. And as I stated, she has red paint, blue paint, cocaine, yellow paint, purple paint. So as it goes through there, everything that a budding artist in 1969 could possibly require.
Oh yeah.
So let's go over to her sister. Sister Dottie, what is your drink of choice? And do you have anything to declare?
My drink of choice would be a gin and tonic with a slice of cucumber, wherever possible. However, I'll take it however it comes. Not overly fussy. And the only thing that I probably have to declare is I do have a whole whack of chemicals down there for my photography, making sure that I can process any pictures that I take. So there are a lot of highly combustible chemicals just floating around down there. But yeah, that's really it.
Fantastic. And as we go over to Ignacio, what is Ignacio's drink of choice, and does he have anything to declare?
No, none of that. None of that alcoholic business. No, I don't drink. You see. Perhaps I could have a lapsang souchong though. That would nice smoky Earl Grey, something. What do you have? Do you have any decent tea?
We have iced tea.
Iced tea. What is iced tea?
It's cold. It's delicious. We have it. It's sweetened. It's got sugar water in it. It's got we can put a squeeze of lemon in it for you. It's fabulous.
I suppose I'll try it. That sounds delightful.
Great. And Marilyn runs off. Anything to declare?
He has two ornate, heavily gilded hunting rifles in the hold, just in case he sees a fox in Miami.
Well, this is 1969. There are plenty of foxes in Miami. So as okay, so chat, thank you for your patience with my technical issues. As you now know everybody's drink of choice and what they have declared as far as personal effects that have been stowed beneath, but somebody does not have those personal effects, as their personal effects are now probably in the possession of the Argentinian government, as they went on the wrong flight or were placed on the wrong flight. So tell me, chat, who?
We've had 9 votes so far. It's currently a draw, so we need more votes, please.
Vote, everybody. Just hit that poll and give us what you got. So as you guys are pulling up, everybody, drink of choice in hand, they're going around, they're getting your meal orders and things like that. And once again, as in 1969, this is this isn't a plastic peel back, crackers and chips and peanut. This is an actual meal served on a plate, served with silverware. heavy glasses to keep them from moving, so your drinks can actually be placed on the tables in front of you without having to be inserted into some type of cup. You know, they sit very. This is very similar to train travel was in the turn of the century, as it is still considered to be a privilege to be able to fly on such things, and you're treated more like human beings instead of cattle. And so as you guys are experiencing the flight, and as you get to a cruising altitude, you hear your captain come over the intercom. Ladies and gentlemen, I've turned off the fasten seatbelt sign, and you may now feel free to move about the cabin. However, we always recommend to keep your seatbelt fastened while you're seated. Smoking is now permitted anywhere outside the lavatories. In a few moments, the flight attendants will be passing around the cabin to offer you hot or cold drinks as well as dinner. Alcoholic drinks are also available with our compliments. Tonight's movie is Planet of the Apes, but the real show is going to be on above us. God willing, sometime during our flight, American astronauts Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin should be landing on the moon. On a personal note, I had the honor and privilege to serve with United States Air Force Colonel Michael Collins. Mike will be manning the orbiter craft as Neil and Buzz make their descent. Looks like President Kennedy was right. God rest his soul. On a happier note, we will be cruising at an altitude of 40,000 feet, but I aim to climb us at least another 5. Why? Well, ladies and gentlemen, that means we will be the closest people to Mike and the boys. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight. Thank you. So as your drinks are delivered and as you all are able to sit there, we're going to hand wave some time here as it's just the traveling aspect of it. But what I would like from each and every member, from each and every section, is another spot hidden roll. As just as the human nature, you're drinking and looking around at other people and to see exactly what it is you can see around you. Okay, so success is coming in. Looks like we only have one. So with all of that, I guess as Susan devolves more into her extra dimensional space, Dottie, you are able to look around and you see up ahead of you, sitting in, off to the side, sitting in row 39 or right around like 41E, you notice that there is a man that continues to look around. It's odd. It's almost like when you're in a theater and you're sitting behind somebody and you're used to just seeing the backs of heads in a theater, but you continually see somebody turning and looking back and then looking over their other shoulder. A couple times you think that this person must be trying to, call for a flight attendant or a steward or stewardess, but anytime that Marilyn or the two gentlemen that are back here pass by, there's no signal for aid or anything like that. The gentleman also appears to be like covered in a flop sweat, almost like he has had a fever that is just broken. It's enough that you're excuse me, it's enough that you're able to actually identify it as a characteristic of the man. I mean, in Miami, everybody's perspiring, but here in a plane cruising at 40,000 feet, this guy is acting like he just finished a marathon and in South Florida.
Oh. I try and catch his eye and just give him a little like wave and just sort of be like, okay.
Roll a charm roll for me.
Oh dear, I don't think I'm very charming. I might be lying. I could be the most charming of people. But no.
Okay, so
my stats are.
As you give him the thumbs up and the wave, he kind of looks at you. His eyes just just glance, kind of stop at you for a second, and then go straight past and look. He seems not to notice you, even despite your efforts of being friendly. And eventually he turns back around and you see the back of his head again, but he's constantly shifting now that you're aware of the movement. And the rest of the row that he is in is empty. So he's not annoying anybody that's sitting to his right or his left. And it seems as if he's just fidgeting constantly. The rest of you up in first class, everything is perfect. The meal, fantastic. And as you're all sitting there in every section of the plane, almost in a staggered call, a large screen is brought down at the front of your section, and the movie Planet of the Apes begins. And for those of you not familiar with the Charlton Heston classic, it is a fantastic romp through an alternate future in which, yes, you guessed it, apes take over the planet. And as it progresses, what we're going to do now, and this is not necessarily a fight to stay awake, about halfway through the movie, you would guess. For those of you who have seen it, you know it's halfway. For those of you that have not, it feels like it should be halfway. I'd like everybody to make a power check. Now, a power check, everyone, is if you look on your character sheet, it'll be at the very top of the character sheet. On your right-hand side, it'll say POW. And if you could click on that nice little green button beside POW. Cat
Is that
success.
everyone? Yeah.
Everybody for me, please, in the entirety of tip to tail of this Pan Am Flight 101.
Also, Grant donates £5. He says, behind every good man is a bad boy. Let Marcy decide if this is good or bad.
So we leave it up to her to be able to decide what fate will befall. And I can make it where it has nothing to do with
I'm never
Renee.
gonna say good. Let's I'm never gonna say good. Let's just
Okay. Right. So as Planet of the Apes is playing, several things start to happen. Renee, let me see who else here. Renee, Ignacio, and Hannibal, you all start to feel not tired. Tired is something that you can control, especially when you're in Hannibal's line of work, where exhaustion, or at least the appearance of exhaustion, can get somebody killed. Just like in Renee's work, where if he experienced exhaustion or the threat of exhaustion, and as he has witnessed very recently, there's a terminal nature to being a stunt person. So being tired is something that you can become aware of and force back. This is not that. This is almost as if somebody is dialing down the switch of your consciousness as things begin to tunnel, and you recognize in other people, as people are gripping chairs, their any kind of periphery that you can see, people are shaking their heads a bit, and it's just this drill down where all of a sudden your vision tunnels, darkens around the edges until it's just a pinprick, and then it's gone. And those of you that failed this power check, you know no more as you slip into unconsciousness. Now, those of you that succeeded, and I believe the successions were both of the sisters, correct?
Yeah.
Go, sister.
So through the use of narcotics, the sisters are able to stave off this ability. It still happens to the two of you. Right. That was some great shit, guys.
Oh my god.
As the two of you, I love it. I love that it was the two of you. As the two of you are sitting there, as the two of you are able to fight this off, and as the ability to kind of you feel that pressure, but it's not because of your kind of not addled state, but comfortable state that the two of you are in combination with drink and other things. It feels like you're slipping off to sleep, but in an almost meditative way, which is right up the stream of the two of you. However, what you guys hear when all of this goes down is you hear the intercom come on just as the end of Planet of the Apes is playing. And you hear this kind of crackled, garbled, almost like a transmission through a transmission, as you hear this one small step for man, one giant leap for man. And as halfway through the end of Neil Armstrong's speech, one small step for maniacs. You blew it up. Oh, damn you. God damn you all to hell. and you know no more as Neil Armstrong and Chuck Heston send you off to a bliss-filled, drug-induced stupor.
Yes.
Everyone roll a con check for me. That is near your power checks, and I would like to know who rolls the lowest. Looks like it's going to be Hannibal. Ooh, we got a tie.
We tied off. Those first class drinks were strong.
Right. So we're gonna
Uncharacteristic of me, I actually passed a check for the first time.
hey, if you're gonna start, now's the time. Okay, so Renee and Hannibal, when you guys, the next thing you realize is almost simultaneously from your opposite sides of the first class cabin, you both kind of lurch awake, and it's not comfortable. It's almost as if that dial that turned you down was yanked back on as your consciousness floods back into you. Your body tingles as if it had been asleep, or you'd been sitting or cramped, and every muscle in your body feels like you had been tensing everything. And all of a sudden it's released. And as the blood begins its normal circulation through your body, it sends those pins and needles through your everything from from tip to tail. You feel that numbing tingling, but you both kind of at the same time as you wake up.
Yeah. Are we the only people who are awake in first class as we look around?
You seem to be.
Well, now, Florence, where you at? I gotta tell you, those drinks, a little too strong, and that dog won't hunt.
No answer.
I'm gonna get up out of my seat. How's like the turbulence level right now? Is it like smooth, or are we?
I'm gonna tell you. Let's see. Roll a spot hidden, since you do have a window seat.
Oh, cool. Oh no.
Also, thank you very much to Miss Misery, who donates another £5. No actions attached to that, just straight to the goal. Thank you very much. And thank you, Charlie, for your subscription as well.
I mean, obviously you can look out a window. It's not like you open it up and just can't see, but you look out and something's wrong, but you can't put your finger on it. And it takes you a beat, 2 beats, 3 beats when you realize the plane's not moving. You don't feel that rumble of propulsion. You don't hear that kind of buzz of thrust that you were used to. And it's that absence that kind of made you not understand what you were comprehending when you looked out the window. But as you're looking out with very few markers here over the Atlantic and with clouds, you realize that nothing's moving as you look out. Everything seems to be stationary.
I'm gonna turn around the only other awake passenger here and go, excuse me, monsieur.
I'll turn suddenly and be like, oh, good to see I'm not the only one awake.
Yes, could you perhaps take a look out the window with me for just 1 second? This is forward, but there's nobody else awake, and it doesn't seem to be that the plane is moving.
I'm sorry, could you come again? And I'll, press my face up against the window.
And without, I'll have you roll a spot hidden roll to see if you can identify anything else that perhaps Renee couldn't. With Renee pointing out the fact that you're not moving, once again, air travel, you expect the plane to be rumbling and things like that, and you don't notice its absence until it's sort of pointed out, because the normal state of things is not to hear a plane rumbling, not to be seated in a plane. But now that Renee has pointed it out, Hannibal, you realize that this plane, for whatever reason, it's not falling. You don't feel any type of movement, but it's not. You don't hear that propulsion either.
I think quietly to myself, son of a bitch. And I'll turn around. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm completely at a loss. as to how this could happen.
Perhaps this is a dream of some kind, or maybe perhaps it's some sort of I don't know. Perhaps we flag down a stewardess.
I think that's a good idea. Now, a quick question: is it your dream or my dream? I'm an imaginative man, but I don't think I could dream something like this up as I'm walking down the aisle trying to find a.
Perhaps. I don't know. We'll have to find out. I'm sure my dreams would go a little bit differently, if you know what I mean. He's
I
gonna
think I do. I like it.
get up and move to the entrance. Anybody there?
You're heading back into the back of the plane.
Yes.
Okay. You see that there are the two like blue velvet curtains, the heavy draped curtains that are dropped to the ground. You don't see anybody there. There are other passengers now that are in first class. There's 3 or 4 other people that are here. Now that you're moving past, you realize that some of them have their eyes open.
I checked their pulse.
When you touch their flesh, it's warm, but you can't feel anything as far as like the tick-tock of I'll tell you what though, roll me a first aid check to see if you can identify anything in any other way.
Okay.
That'll be down in your skill banks there.
Gotcha. Oh, first aid. I got it.
Hannibal, so you don't feel a pulse, but knowing, basic first aid, you're able to immediately kind of take your finger and put it up underneath the nose to check and see if there's any type of physical respiration. Right. And for a moment, you give the person a mustache. And the other thing that you realize is you feel the slightest bit of breath touching your finger. It's nowhere near the strength of what a what you would do if you put it up against your own nose, but you feel it just a little bit. And even like if you take your watch and put it under there, it kind of fogs just briefly. So with the temperature and with this slight respiration, you believe that this person, despite having their eyes wide open, they're alive.
Now, my French friend, I must tell you that
My name is Renee.
Renee, what a pretty name. Mine, I've had a couple Renees in my family. I'm Hannibal, Rex to my friends, whichever you choose. A quick note, this one right here with their eyes open, they're breathing. They seem to be alive, but just barely.
I think we have been drugged.
I knew this was too good to be true.
Did you feel the effects of earlier?
I did. I found myself asleep until it seems we both woke up. But I'll tell you what, Hannibal's not a man who falls asleep unless he wants to. There's work to be done.
Very well then. Let's continue heading back into the coach.
Okay. You reach the first class cabin curtain that delineates this space from the next. I'm assuming you're opening.
Yes.
We'll cut to the back of the plane into coach as Ignacio, you wake up very similar to the others as you too felt that drilling down, but were unable to kind of keep it at bay for the few moments that the sisters were. But as you wake up with a start, you see, as you look around, everybody is in various states. There are more people and more objects to observe here, more subjects to observe. And you can see that one person is sort of slumped over, their eyes wide open. Another person is actually has their hand up as if they're calling for the stewardess, and the hand is frozen in midair. But you notice too that you're the only one that seems to be awake.
Just take my finger and just poke the person to my side.
It feels like you're poking stone that's been left in the sun.
I touched poor people.
I guess he'll stand. Make his way to the aisle.
Roll a spot hidden for me as you kind of get up and get your bearings.
Hard success.
So not only do you look around and you see everybody is frozen, you immediately feel that lack of sensation of propulsion of the plane as you realize, as you can see out different windows, that the plane, for whatever reason, is not moving, but you're not falling. Now, with your hard success, you also notice that as you stand up in the aisle, there's a very sweaty man in the first row of your section. And this man seems to be holding some type of locket, and it's kind of dangling from a chain in his frozen hand. You also see the sister slumped over. However, unlike everybody else, you see elements of movement from them as their heads kind of roll back and forth, as, you know, they might have a fit or a snort, you know, like you know, as they seem to be fighting off the effects but haven't quite woken up yet.
Okay.
They're enjoying this trip.
So, I imagine that Ignacio's sort of used to playing cleanup a little bit for these two. And so he might have like maybe some smelling salts or something on him. And I'll just take a little bit. Go on.
I tell you what, roll a luck roll for me to see if Ignacio, who should probably remember to do this, but let's make sure that the smelling salts were able to pass muster whenever it came time to declare things.
Luck.
Luck should be, I can point it out to you, it's on the left-hand side of the page. If you go down, you'll see it under hit points. Go ahead and roll that. And we're going to say this, whatever you roll, 50 and under, you remembered them. 50 and over, they were taken, because I reduced luck to 20 for another reason. But
63.
Nope. Unfortunately, as you kind of pat for your smelling salts that you usually have to rouse the twins, they are not, they're not present. You do not have them.
Well, I'm not going to touch them. I'll walk to the front to this man with the locket and just sort of view it from a distance. Is he awake?
He appears to be frozen. His eyes, oddly enough, one of his eyes, his left eye, is closed, and it almost looks like he's winking, but the right eye is very wide, almost as if half of him is in fright or sheer terror, and the other half is asleep. You're not sure that if you tried to mimic that with one eye very wide and one eye just as lightly closed as it is, that you could do it. But it creates a kind of macabre scene as it almost appears as if the right eye is ready to like just lull out of his head.
Walk forward and hold a finger. See if the eye.
Roll
moves.
first aid for me. Yeah. This is old hat with you for waking up the twins to see if they're permanently damaged.
That's a fail.
You don't notice anything. You can't tell what's wrong with this person, but the large, like, kind of bulbous eye does not follow your finger as you kind of track it back and forth.
So then I guess I'll. Hello? Hello? Service? Is anyone awake? Anyone? I've not seen that iced tea. Hello?
Let's have the twins roll listen checks
Okay.
to see if it can break through the haze, the purple haze. Nope.
2 fails. Yeah.
We are.
That was some good shit.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
You guys are still riding that wave. Ignacio, you hear nothing. You don't hear you hear no response. The silence continues. You don't hear any type of really, it's almost like a tomb.
Pinching
You do
myself.
occasionally hear. Wait, yeah. Unfortunately, you are here.
Hmm.
The dream does not end. Whether this be Hannibal's dream or Renee's dream, it does not end either.
Hmm. Ignacio's at a loss. Usually there's people to do this stuff. He just he's just going to stand, not sure what to do. Maybe he'll rest one hand on a plane seat and then realize what he's doing, and again brush it off and just perhaps he'll head like at the back. Is there like a staff section?
There is, yeah, there is like a drink station. There's also lavatories in the back,
Because
and
staff almost certainly seem like the sort of people to sort out these sort of problems. So he'll start making his way to the back and just see if he can find any staff. Hello!
you see other frozen passengers on your way back, again in various states. Some of them slumped over, some of them wide-eyed. Just everybody frozen like that statue or that stone in the sun. And when you get to the back, you do see the station there. You see that there are drinks out, that there is a full bar. Everything seems to be, in various states of delivery, as trays and whatnot are being loaded up from dinner and for dinner and for snacks and drinks. No sign of the staff, though. It's about this time that the twins wake up, as they finally kind of stir together.
Oh,
sister,
that-
that was lovely.
Oh, that was
are
the
we
last
home?
stuff from Miami. That was damn good stuff. Honestly. Oh.
Are we home?
No, I don't think quite yet.
The plane's not moving. Maybe. I think we're
I
home.
don't know. Where's Ig? Maybe he could. Oh, I hid some more stuff on him. I didn't tell him. But maybe if we find him, we can get high again.
Yeah. Iggy!
Ig! Darling, Ig!
You do hear that.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good. At least they're awake. Hello, I'm back here. I'm looking for some staff. Everyone's possibly dead. I don't really know or care. But
With your back there, Ig, can you get me a drink? Please, darling.
I don't see why not. No one else is doing anything, and grab like. He'll probably know what you drink. He'll just grab like the sparkling pink or whatever it is, and also the gin and tonic. But when he comes back with them, he's almost certainly going to hand the wrong drinks to the wrong ones.
Good try.
Nearly there, Ig.
Sorry, apologies.
You'll get it one day.
One day. Is it me or is something not right here?
Yeah, it's very quiet.
Yes. You may notice the gentleman at the front with the eye popping out of his head. The person sitting in the seat here, look, he feels like stone. You can.
I thought
flick
I'd
him.
imagined all of them. I'm so glad they're real.
Yes, you are not
quite
high
creepy.
at
Am I-
this moment.
Fascinating.
That's quite depressing, really.
Well,
So, do we need to
do you
find
know how to
some
fly a
people?
plane? Do you know how to fly a plane, Iggy?
I'm sure it can't be that hard.
Yeah.
I don't think the plane is currently flying.
But surely a plane needs to fly, or it will fall.
Well, I don't feel like
Iggy-
we're falling.
You are sounding like you're high now, darling.
Yes, I realised that. I did wonder if it was a dream.
I mean, you didn't accidentally go in your secret left pocket, did you? Please tell me you didn't.
My secret left. What secret left pocket?
Oh, because you still don't know about that. That's fine. Don't worry. It's just a little thing I added into some of your jackets.
What? Do you know how expensive these tailored cuts are?
I know,
Yes.
but they're even more exclusive now because they have a secret left pocket for hidden things.
I wish I could tell which stitchwork was bad.
My stitch work is very good.
I'm sure it is. So should we try and
Find some people.
Fly the plane.
figure out what's going on
Well,
with the
let's try
plane?
fly the plane. That sounds like a great idea, sister.
Oh, well, I suppose we could head to first class actually, and you know, at least enjoy what's going on. I mean, no one
That's
seems to be
true.
awake. We could just go and I don't know, help ourselves to the champagne.
Yes, let's do that. That sounds amazing. Let's go. And
Sounds
I
like a
shove
great
everyone out of the
idea.
way.
Should we just rush for the champagne?
Okay, so on a quest for champagne and wresting control of the plane away from current pilots, if there are any, you guys reach the curtain that separates coach from the business section of this plane, or what would be mid-class at that time. You guys opening it up?
Doing it.
As we go past Shifty Guy, can I just take a little look at him?
Absolutely. You see the wide bulbous right eye that Iggy saw, and you also see that he's holding some type of locket in his hand. It's dangling from a chain.
I take a picture of him. This guy was
He
a
does-
bit weird earlier, just so you know.
A bit weird. Weird how?
You
Aren't they
know,
all
couldn't
weird?
sit
They're awfully
still.
common.
Yes, well, he couldn't sit still. He couldn't sit still. He just kept looking this way, that way. I thought he was trying to look at me. You know, I'm quite famous for my photos now, but no, I
Well,
waved. He
fine,
didn't.
darling. He was probably looking at your hair, and your outfit is incredible.
Yeah, well,
I'd
yes,
look
but
at
when I
your outfit.
waved, he didn't even notice. It was most
Maybe he was shy.
disturbing. Maybe. Yeah, that's the photo I took.
That's horrifying.
That is your photo.
Well, yeah, he was weird. And champagne, let's go. Cool.
Yes, sounds amazing. Champagne.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I'll part the curtains.
And as you part the curtains, we will flip back up to first class as Renee and Hannibal are doing likewise. And as you pull back the curtain in a normal gesture, there is a swirl of purple energy as it twists and turns behind the curtain as you open it. I would like you all to roll, the two of you, to roll either a dex, a dodge, or a jump roll. I suggest you pick the one that you're best in, as you feel yourself being drawn into this energy that seems to pulse from just on the other side of this curtain.
Oh, yep. I'm gonna do a dodge, I think. I'm gonna spend luck to pass
Right.
that.
You
Yeah.
have a pool of 20 luck that you can use. You can spend 6 of it here and take you down to 14.
That's what I'm gonna do.
And I'm looking for
Okay.
my highest score to roll, right?
Yes, your highest one would be
Okay.
the best. Okay, so with 2 successes, as Renee, since you jerked the curtain open, you feel this pull and you begin to kind of stumble forward and you reach out for purchase. And luckily, you're able to kind of grab the side of the wall that kind of is connecting of the curtain. And as you stop yourself and you begin to pull a bit, the two of you are able to stand back as this curtain is open and the initial drag ceases, and beyond it you see the following. It is the section of the plane that you remember passing through to get to first class. However, it looks as if each of the chairs are covered in some type of vinage, some type of almost a liquid, a dripping, a candle wax consistency, if you will, as it kind of makes it age, as everything looks like it's been in some form of humidity or moisture for decades. As the seats themselves, the leather elements have begun to rot and blacken and spot, as the floor is covered with what looks like spores or some type of moss, and there is a kind of a swirl of wind that's not emanating from anywhere, but it's blowing sideways and through. And before, where it was almost as if somebody were a great giant were inhaling through a straw and pulling the two of you into this other place, it now seems to be exhaling as wind comes through, and you smell that rot, that vegetation, that deep woods, deep jungle death smell as it kind of wafts over you. And you are staring and looking into this section of the plane that has become something different. And as you look out the windows in the plane, the separate passenger portholes, if you will, you notice that some of them are punched out, as if whatever had been inside is now outside, or whatever had been outside is now inside. You cannot tell in which direction the winds or the glass exploded from this section, but you realize now if this was a compromised aircraft that was flying, there would be way more wind and most likely lethal ramifications from this type of compromised structure. But you guys are staring into this space. And as you're taking it all in, I think we'll have you both roll a sanity check to see if this is something that you can comprehend.
Sanity, there it is. Boop. Oh, nope, I don't get it.
There we go.
Okay, let's see. Do we?
Oh, I got an error there.
No problemo. I will. Yeah, if you you can roll a manual D100 if you want, just the slash roll 1D100, and I'll look and I can do it manually for you.
Okay, I'll just do
Renee
it.
loses 4 sanity as he looks in and sees this and his mind just can't wrap around what he's seeing. This shouldn't be here. We should be falling. We should be dead.
Yeah, I rolled a 71.
And I think that's okay for you if I remember exactly what Hannibal has. Let me double check real quick. Oh, actually, no, it's not. As you fail, and you can't use luck on sanity, which is lovely. With an identical 4, as Hannibal and Renee both experience the same bowel liquefying realization that this is not the type of plane that they walked in upon. But as you're looking in at this rotten section or length of the plane, you experience this same type of existential dread as you are looking into madness. This is not something that should exist. This is completely beyond your realm of possibility. And even the frozen people and the lack of sound seem to have more of a dreamlike ethereal quality. This is real. You can smell it. You can see it. You can see that the carpet is rotten. These are experiences that kind of push the senses beyond and allow you to begin accepting your fate, which is not what you want your mind to do when faced with this type of stuff. Let's cut back to the back of the plane and coach when the curtain is drawn back there and a similar swirl of purple energy begins to pull all 3, the twins and Iggy, into its structure. I would like each of you to roll either a dex, a dodge, or a jump. Whichever is the highest score that you have is the one you'll wish to go with.
Damn.
Okay, so we have Susan. As Susan sees what's in there, and it's a very similar scene. You guys see the backs of the chairs as the leather has the spots of mildew and rot. And as this inhalation breathes in, however, on this end, Susan and Dottie and Iggy get sucked into this section of the plane. They get sucked into, they're stepping and falling and like kind of sliding on the ground through these spores. And Susan, as you watch your sister and Iggy go flying into this section of the plane, your curtain on its own jerks back in front of your face. And you are separated from your sister and Iggy.
Sister! Can I do, like, Grab.
Grab.
Help.
Grab my
What would
sister.
you like? I will allow you to roll a dex roll here. This is going to have to be either a hard or an extreme success.
Okay.
A regular success won't cut it. Oh,
Oh, yes.
Yes.
So, as-
Sister.
as Iggy goes cartwheeling into the area,
Ig.
right? Susan kind of braces herself on one. She reaches back and grabs something and reaches her hand forward and is able to grab her sister as you guys, for a moment, Dottie, your feet lift up off the ground as if you are being suspended over something. The power of this force pulling you in is that great. And you're holding there for a moment until it goes away. You drop to the floor and the curtain jerks as the twins are on one side, Iggy is on the other. And Susan, when you look back, you realize that you've reached back and the cops are here. And
Shit, they know.
The jig's up for Hannibal.
right. They finally cut up to Hannibal. They're here in the skies with us. Susan, when you look back, you realize that you have your hand and the point of reference, you grab the hand of the sweaty man. It felt like something solid, like an armrest. But because in the first row, that was what you were able to grab as your sister was going in. And for a moment, the three of you are in some type of odd chain as you are holding on to this man, yourself, and your sister. But let's cut to Iggy as Iggy kind of cartwheels into this area. There isn't a pocket square or a hanky big enough to remove the amount of spore, mildew, and moss and gunk that runs up into you in an almost tar or molasses type consistency as it just streaks the front of you as you kind of slide to a stop in this. And when you press and pull yourself up, it almost strings like warm bubble gum that's been stepped in as you snap and kind of extricate yourself from this substance. And when you stand up and look around, you realize that the curtains in front of you and behind you have been pulled, and you are alone in this section. Three of you were there. I'd like a sanity check, if you would, for what you witnessed and what you're currently standing in. So Twins and Iggy, sanity, please.
Sanity.
I am. Roll20 hates me. That's something we've already established.
Hates me too. Okay, so this one's gonna be for Dottie to see what happens. Whoa, another 4.
So I usually get all the Roll20 luck. I don't know what's happened today.
I think I'm getting your luck today.
Maybe it's just I always roll high. Maybe that's it.
Yeah.
Okay, so for fans of Cthulhu, Dottie, you take 4 loss in your sanity, so you feel your mind kind of shatter a bit. Same thing, you were almost sucked in. None of this makes sense. You know, the rules of nature don't apply. But Iggy, as you have lost 5 sanity points, that gives you mechanically what is called a temporary insanity.
Mm-hmm.
Your temporary insanity is very apropos as you want to be clean. You can't. You have to get this stuff off of you. This is maddening. No matter what, it has to be off of you. This is inexcusable.
He's going to first of all strip off his blazer. He'll take the handkerchief out first, though. The handkerchief's probably also soiled, so he'll look at it for a second and just. He'll strip off his blazer and shirt. I'm not gonna do it on stream, but he'll strip it all off and just start like scrubbing his body down with his soiled shirts. This is just the worst. This is if there were letters I could write strong enough.
So as you're cleaning yourself off, and as every time you kind of touch a piece of it and wipe it, it's almost like wiping bubble gum. So you just kind of hit it and stop, and it just smears a bit and pulls as it kind of hurts where it touches skin, as it's got that strong adhesive quality to it. And as you're doing all of that, let's cut back to the twins as you're just kind of taking this time to pull yourself off. Twins, what are you doing in the back?
What the
Are
hell
you,
is that?
sister, are you all right? I have no idea. Where's can we see Iggy or not?
He was right next to me.
Where's,
You can't. Curtain is pulled, so you cannot see him
should
anymore.
I go through the curtain again? I mean, I'm not really sure what happened. But I feel like Father would be annoyed if we lost Iggy. You know, they've got that business deal going that's a lot of money, and
He has your stuff.
oh God, he has my stuff.
Yes.
That's a really good point. I need my stuff too, because this is getting quite stressful now, and I'm a little bit too sober for it.
Yeah, or like I'm a little bit worried that stuff was too strong, and this is the after effects of it. And actually,
I mean, this doesn't feel like normal after effects. It felt really real. Is that normally that disjointed feeling that I quite like, and I don't feel it right now, and I'm getting quite anxious. Also, champagne. I could really do some champagne.
Yes, we need the champers, and we need our Iggy back.
Yeah, and Iggy, yeah.
You can open the curtains, Sister dear.
Okay, I'll open the curtain, Sister dear. I'll be fine. So I'm going to try and open the curtain again to see if I can go through and find Ig and the champagne.
Okay, so you open the curtain, kind of bracing yourselves, and as you open it, you realize that there is no sucking sound this time, but there is a definite weight to these curtains that normally wouldn't be there with just material. And as you kind of pull and open them, you see Iggy as he is in desperate need of trying to clean himself, as he seems to be the most disheveled, perhaps, that you've ever seen him, as he is covered in this black substance.
Ig, are you naked?
I'm not clean. That's what I am. I'm definitely not. I'm not naked. I'm covered in this.
But
filth.
you have just taken. Okay. By the way, sister, this fabric is fantastic fabric. It's really heavy. But Ig, maybe. Oh, why are you? Oh, does he look covered in stuff to us or not? Does he look just?
Yes, it looks like he's been drugged through not mud, but something darker, something richer than that, something earthier.
I mean, what did you roll in? Seriously, Ig, you're disgusting and also naked now and scrubbing yourself. Could you just maybe clean a bit quicker? It's a bit.
If only I could. If only. Do you have any? Do you have anything I could scrape this stuff off with? It's like bubble. Do you have a knife or something? I can just cut it off.
I have scalpels and stuff in the luggage hold and some white spirit. That would probably help. If I just doused you in white spirit, that would probably clean the stuff off, right?
Yeah, I think.
I mean, I've drunk it before, so it's completely safe.
Anything, just help me get this filth off me.
If we go to the luggage hold, I'll get my stuff and I'll kind of give you a good wipe over with white spirit, and we'll scrape some stuff off. Yeah, it'll be fine.
I'm searching through Iggy's jacket for the secret left-hand pocket.
I discarded my jacket, so it'll be like on the floor.
Yeah,
somewhere.
I'm on the floor.
Okay.
She's on the floor going through the jacket. Where are the drugs?
Okay, when you're down on the floor, you are sitting there kind of looking through it, and you get an interesting view of this kind of moss and stuff. And as you look, lying between the seats and incapable of being spotted from an elevated position, you see a man that is sitting there crouched down, looking up in an almost push-up position. And as soon as his eyes reach yours, he smiles and stands up and begins to creep towards the two of you. He is completely naked and covered in this black substance. You will recognize this man as Lamont, one of your former stewards. as he descends upon you with some jagged, shining implement. We will cut back to first class as we have the curtain that has been opened. Hannibal and Renee, you are staring at this scene of discontent in the second section. But other than that, the windows being blown out, you see that it is open to you.
I close the curtain and I light a cigarette and I sit on the floor and I just say, "This was a bad room."
Let me get one of those lights, if I may, and lean into the same light of the lighter, and also start to smoke. And then I think immediately, knowing it's a bad situation, his mind is, we need to figure out some way to get out of here. I would rather not die or have moss all over me. I escaped that in Georgia, and I don't want it now. Do you think there's some way to start the plane?
Probably. It is a plane. It has engines, but it doesn't. This is hopeless. I think it just whatever,
Well,
like we are not even on the same plane. I don't know where we are, but this isn't a thing that should happen. It's not a thing.
No, not at all. I don't like it. I can always appraise the situation, and I don't like this one bit. I don't understand it. I don't know what the end game is. I don't know if I was a mark.
Tell you what, we're going to drink a lot, and I'm going to drink. You can drink with me. Because that's what I can do. Right here.
Save me that drink. I'm going to be right back. I'm going to go see if I can find the pilot. And I will try to go to the pilot's cabin the other way from what we just saw.
Well, as this is a 747, the pilot's compartment or the cockpit is on the second floor. You guys would have noticed when the two of you came in, you passed that large spiral staircase that's 2 sections back. That spiral staircase leads to the traveler's lounge, and in forward of the traveler's lounge is the cockpit. The cockpit, you guys are actually in the bottom section of the nose cone. The pilots would be right above you all. They're accessible through the stairwell that is in midship.
Is there anything like a beer bottle that somebody ordered or anything like that that I could pick up as a potential?
Oh, yeah. This is 1969. Plastic has not invaded the alcohol industry yet. And so you are able to get yourself any fine domestic, or these are international waters, but we'll go ahead and call it import, as this is first class and you have access to the bar section. So you can get anything from a Budweiser to a Pabst Blue Ribbon, which is can based, but they had bottles at the time. So if you need a bottle, go ahead.
I think he'll go with whatever his old faithful was, and you know what? And I think it's Pabst. I think he'll smash it. So he's got, like, oof, my, it's just like Boca Raton all over again. He'll start ascending the staircase.
Okay, to get to the staircase, you have to enter into the area that you have just closed off. It is actually through that section of the ship and through another curtain, and then you'll be in the area with the spiral staircase.
All right. Now I'm going to head back there and try to get to the pilot. I don't like it. If you could keep this curtain open, if I'm perhaps getting in trouble, we could watch each other's backs. And if we get out of this, we got a lot of opportunities together, selling stories of this and whatnot.
You want me to come with you?
I would rather that. To be completely honest with you, I would rather that. I'll have you know, I've spent a lot of time in the South, and I know a bit of Cajun, which means I know a bit of French. and I think I know what you said, or I know something close to what you said. I don't like it, but I understand it.
All right, fine. You know what? Fuck it. We're both dead anyway, so why not? Let's go. This isn't real. Can't be. This is not real.
I really hope you're right, but would that it were so simple.
I'm assuming you guys are opening the curtain and proceeding back into the plane. Okay. As you open, the section is as you left it. The windows are still smashed in intervals. The deep moss is on the ground, and as soon as you take your first step, second step, you can hear that kind of wet squish, almost as if there's been a flood, and the carpet in the downstairs is not yet dried out, as the water has been absorbed into the material of the formerly impeccable 747. And as you step with each of these squeezes, oh no, is that my internet again? Damn. Do you guys hear me?
Oh yeah, we
I
got
can
you.
hear you just fine.
Okay, because it's moving real crazy for me. You guys are jumping. As long as I'm okay, I'll keep going. Just scream out if something happens. So as you guys are moving with that squish and that step and that you get in there, you experience too that kind of pull, that bubble gum, as it kind of slogs through and doesn't necessarily slow your pace or momentum, but it's just noticeable as it drags and sticks with each footfall. You guys, though, are able to pass through this section and get to the curtain at the end of it. Faced with it again, is there any precautions you would like to take as you are faced with another curtain obstacle?
I think yes. Now I think we got to brace ourselves, and why don't you get on one side and I'll get on the other, and we can be ready.
Well, there are seats backed up against it, or no? I want to see if I can just sort of jury rig a seatbelt around myself to open the curtain.
Yeah, you mean like loop one around your arm and then open the curtain?
Mhm.
Something like that? Absolutely, you can do that. Sure.
Oh yeah, if he sees that, be like, that is mighty industrious. I think I'll do the same.
The only thing that you experience though is when you do kind of wrap it around, you feel that dampness, that kind of, like you found a wet cloth of some kind, you're not sure what it's wet with, and you just kind of grit a bit as you hold on to it, and it kind of squishes and runs through your fingers, creating like little rivulets of brown and black, but you're able to kind of hold on to it. And as you guys jerk open the curtain, you see a man covered in this black substance with some type of knife charging 3 people. 2 of them look identical with the exception of change of dress and hair, and the other looks as if he is desperately in need of a shower. But at this point, the 5 of you are together. There was somebody charging at you, and I would like you all to roll a dex roll to see who can react to this situation first, as everything has happened simultaneously.
Is that including us coming from first class?
Yep, as soon as you guys are coming from first class, you see it as well. Nice. So it looks like Renee has the step on everybody else, but those are damn good rolls, kids. Renee, you see this person that is completely naked, covered in this tarry, sticky substance, with this long, just almost wickedly shaped, almost like a Syrian type of dagger, charging at these 2 identical people and the very disheveled former gentleman. What would you like to do as you are witnessing this?
Oh, wow. Well, I just tied myself to a doorway, so hold on. Um, I'm going to reach into my pockets to see if I have anything to throw, even a deck of cards or something.
Yeah, I'll say that you can have anything as far as if you want like a distractionary type of throw, like a deck of cards, a wallet, anything like that. If you just want to try to gain or distract, yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
You have
So
something that you.
So at first I instinctively try to run toward them and then realize I still have my arm tied for bracing, and then I reach into my pocket and I just throw a deck of cards
Okay.
at the
Roll.
guy.
Sure. Roll a throw roll for me as you pitch this forward.
And I'm really sorry if I hit one of you guys instead.
It's just a deck of cards.
It's
It's not
just
like it's a
deck of
curved knife, right?
cards, right? I couldn't have that. Let's see. Throw. Oh, I'm not good at throwing. Yep.
Okay, it comes close. It kind of flitters by his head, and I'll actually see if that distracts him at all. No. As he sees it go by, he just is intent on getting towards the three that are in front of him. But you guys rolled well enough that the next person up, I believe, is going to be Dottie, if I'm not mistaken. Dottie or Ignatia. I'm sorry, Iggy, you have a chance to go first here as you see this person running towards the three of you nude with this black substance and a curved knife. It doesn't look like he's here to chat.
Ah, perfect. Yes, that's exactly what I need. A knife to cut this filth off. Yes, I'm going to walk up and I say walk. I'm going to move towards him. Not necessarily ignoring the fact that he looks disgruntled, but most people look disgruntled around Ignacio most of the time. So he's going to be ready to be dealing with things, but just walking to him like, yes, the knife. Yes, give it here. I'll take that.
Are you trying to wrest it from him, or are you just offering your hand for him to place it in?
I am offering my hand, ready to wrest it off him if he carries on looking particularly aggressive.
Yeah, he does. So what we're going to do is, why don't we go ahead and roll opposed strength checks. You roll a strength as you want that knife to clean yourself, and this is kind of part of your partial insanity or temporary insanity. You've got to get clean. So for a moment, the two of you, not to save your life, but to get clean, you're trying to get the knife from them.
I have a success.
Somehow, Iggy, in his... when decorum wins the day is when Iggy rises to the top. And so you grab the man by the wrist, squeeze to the point where this person whose mind has snapped, you hear that exhalation of that of pain as the fingers flex, and you catch the knife in your other hand. You now have the knife to either defend, attack, or more importantly, clean yourself.
That is exactly what he's going to do. Now that he has the knife, he's going to turn away and start scraping the knife down his leg, trying to take the tar off from where his trousers were.
Okay, so as the cleaning process begins, we go over to Dottie, who's up next. You saw this exchange as this madman has been disarmed. What would you like to do?
Try not to fall over backwards. But I'd like to try and kick weird naked man, not friend weird naked man, stranger weird naked man. Kick him away and scrabble away from him as fast as I can. Yeah, that's my plan.
Okay, so Dottie, roll a fighting brawl, if you will, as you are just kind of like doing that, Katie Bueller defensive kick, and we'll see if you Ed Rooney this guy when he... you kick and you get a little bit of purchase, but it doesn't do anything to him and it doesn't drive him back, as you just kind of do that weak flick of your leg, like you are able to back away though. So your sister and Iggy's right in front of him. So it's Iggy, your sister, and you've kind of put two people between you and this guy. The next person up, I believe, would be I think it's Hannibal. Hannibal followed by Susan. So Hannibal, you see all this going down. The deck of cards has been thrown. Somehow the semi-naked man has wrested the knife from the naked man. It's a lot to take in, Hannibal, but you do have your lucky Pabst Blue Ribbon switchblade in your hand, should you need it.
I will, kind of just loosen the seat belt. Like, what in tarnation? and I'll go ahead and run forward with the bottle, trying to stab, I suppose, the now unarmed naked man, as he looked like he was in a rage.
Absolutely. Go ahead and roll a fighting brawl for me, and we'll see what you can do. With a success, roll a d8, and we'll see how much damage you do, since the Pabst Blue Ribbon, the PBR, is going to give you a little bit more oomph to your... So with 5, you drive deeply into the small of this man's back to the point where the shard of the PBR actually pokes through his kind of like mid-abdomen. He's terribly wounded, and the funny thing is it kind of coincides with like the loose kick that Dottie gave. So as the loose kick hits, it kind of lightly brushes him, and then his back arches in pain as you run the bottle up into his back. And as he's sitting there moving, he seems to be on the brink of going down. As we go to Susan, this is all happening.
Okay. So is he still standing? Yeah, and he's still there.
He's standing with assistance via a bottle run through him as Hannibal's kind of holding him with this. A man that you've never seen before has just stabbed the naked man with a bottle. Impressive.
Hold him just there. Thank you. And I'm just going to go up and I'm going to just punch him in the face.
Okay. Roll a fighting brawl for me.
Well, he's currently being held up. I'm just going to punch him. Okay, fine.
Right.
Cool.
We're going to give you plus 25% in your favor for this. So it does not matter. You come up, and again, you make contact with him, but because of the struggle that's going on, what would have been a great kind of roundhouse just barely brushes across the chin as he and Hannibal are kind of doing that, oh, I'm hurt really bad. Yeah, you're hurt really bad dance between the two of them, as Hannibal's getting some of this black stuff on him as he has the Pabst Blue Ribbon through him. The man is going to turn around and take a swing at Hannibal as the bottle is still like kind of tearing into his side. He is going to hit.
Nah, that misses.
Yeah. For 3 damage. So as he turns around, he smacks with the back of his hand. And Hannibal, you've been in plenty of fights growing up, I'm assuming. And it's one of those stinging ringers that catches you just in the right way. A little bit of ear, a little bit of jaw, a whole lot of stars as it hits you and kind of cocks your head to the side, gives you 3 damage, as it's a pretty above average blow for a man of this size. But we go back to the top of the order as Renee, you see all of this happening as Hannibal head jerks to the side as this kind of thing turns around and tries to do more damage to him.
Ooh, okay. I'm gonna undo my hand from the seat and move forward and look for anything that I can use.
Give me a spot hidden to see if, like, on your way towards this action, you see anything.
Yeah. Nope.
Just a whole bunch of gunk and old seats. You don't see anything.
Looks like it's gonna be fisticuffs.
Fighting brawl for me then as you come through and see if you can't score a hit.
All right. Brawl, 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 brawl. Where is brawl on this sheet? Where are you? Oh, fighting brawl. Thank you.
Yeah.
Got it. Nope.
So you come forward and throw a punch. And again, this is more of a, not necessarily you just outwardly miss or it's weak. It's just off, as this is a combat situation as everything's going around.
The next my feet slip a little bit on the ground.
Yeah, the terrain is, I was just going to say, terrain is completely unstable and foreign, as it is still just that slide of mush and gunk beneath your feet. We're going to cut over, and I think that we were up with Iggy. Isn't Iggy next in the order? Iggy, you've got a curved blade. You can continue cleaning, but there seems to be a life or death struggle literally 24 inches away from your head as you're sitting there cleaning, and a man with a beer bottle just got smacked in the face. Another man has shown up, tried to throw a punch, The twins are desperately trying to kick and flail and do something, but it is this man is the Energizer Bunny at this point.
Thank you very much to Multulu, who donates £5 for things to get worse. I guess my question is, do Susan and Dottie look in specific danger right now?
Other than the presence of somebody that was coming at them with a knife moments before, they don't look like that right at this moment the madman's target is them. But you can sort of figure out if there's a list, they're probably still on it.
But not pressing, like, I'm trying to get around the whole temporary insanity thing. Like, I'm thinking,
saving.
Yeah, they're like, you know, they're in trouble, but you know, they're not top of the list in trouble. I'm filthy. I think he's gonna just...
Okay, I'll help you out a little bit. As this fight is a mere 24 inches from your head, as you're cleaning, there are still elements of this black stuff being thrown off by this individual that's clad in it. And so as you clean something, it'll splatter across your face. And as you clean something, it splatters across your chest.
Oh, I stab him in the face. I stab him in the face. Like, stab him in the face. God damn it. Like, blood would be better.
Okay, so roll me a fighting brawl, and we will see how you do.
Would you stop that, sir? There's a success.
Okay, roll a d8, and it's not going to take much here. That's all it takes. As you turn around and you stab him in the back of the neck, and so Renee and Hannibal, as you're sitting there, Hannibal, your vision's still tripled. You see 3 knife points jut out in a curved fashion from just beside this man's trachea as it pops out, and there's kind of that fine mist, that of blood that settles over Hannibal, and even so far back as Renee, who has just come in to punch. So you guys kind of get this flushed look about you as the blood settles around you. You've all just either witnessed or helped murder a man. So everybody roll an insanity, as this is an extreme situation in an otherwise normal day.
So when I failed the last insanity, do I drop my sanity by 5?
Yes. Yes. If you've lost any points, you just adjust accordingly.
Is that the left box or the right box or both?
It should be the left box is the current and the right box is the max.
Got it. I have failed.
Because you killed someone.
Because I'm filthy still.
Yes.
Right. Okay. And Susan, let's see. Everybody else, I'm going to go ahead and roll for just Iggy as he helped murder someone.
Oh, hang on.
I'm not sure about the helped bit. Like,
yeah. Well, I mean, you did the yeoman's work at the end there, but okay. So you lose 3 additional sanity as the thought of this murder. But more importantly, the fact that this guy got you dirtier.
Yeah.
You're not sure which one is hurting your head more, but everybody else witnesses this murder.
Sorry, it was a sanity roll, wasn't it?
Yep. Well, you rolled a 44, so that's below your sanity anyway. So we'll go ahead and don't worry about adjusting. Yeah, you guys are fine. So you see this person die, but it's more a sense of relief. And you look around, Renee, Hannibal, you see Susan, Dottie, and Iggy as they're all standing there. And besides one another, these 3 people appear to be up, walking around and talking. And off to your right, the area that formerly had the spiral staircase is gone.
You haven't seen the champagne, have you? I really need a drink.
Now, I appreciate your dedication to having a fine drink. However, I would say I think we're in a slightly more difficult position. By the way, hello, ladies. Hello, master gentlemen. My best friend and I, Renee, have just come trying to look for the pilot, but that seems to be gone.
Yes. We came for the champagne.
Yeah, really for the champagne. I mean, this is like the worst hangover or, come down that I have ever had. And I just think I need to deal with it by bringing myself back up again somehow. Oh, Sister, did you find the secret pockets, the stuff?
Well, I was looking for it, but then, a crazed naked man jumped out at us. So I sort of forgot about it in the spur of the moment.
Well,
but
just find it now, maybe? Would be really helpful for the
Okay,
situation.
cool. Yeah, of course. And I'm gonna get down into the ook and try and find the jacket.
I'll be
Yeah, you find it.
I'll be wiping my knife on the person that I just killed and continuing to scrape the black
Clean myself.
off my skin.
No spot hidden roll required. You find it. You find the pocket. You find your hidden the mule that was Iggy had it perfectly in there, because I want you guys to find it, as this is exactly what is needed at this moment.
Sister, I found it.
Oh, fantastic. So, there's a bag of weed, so I can make some spliffs, and there's some really good pills, which will really help the situation, I'm pretty sure. Anyone
Yes.
fancy pills? I've got enough.
Yes. Yeah.
Put them in my hand, and I'm just going to offer them around.
Hand over.
Iggy, I know you don't do it. Renee? Sure. No?
I mean, you know what? I'll take one for later, and I'll put it
Okay. Not a
in
problem.
my pocket.
Oh man.
Let's just stop making a couple of splits. Just hands one.
I'm gonna turn over the dead man and remark, this was one of the stewards.
Oh yes, the steward guy. Do we actually know what's going on?
No.
Is everybody kind of stone and out of it in first class?
We were drinking, but nothing else.
And everybody's just now not moving and kind of vacant looking, like they've had one too many trips, bad trips.
Yeah, they're barely alive. That's for sure. None of them seemed crazed like our former steward here, though. So I suppose we have that going for us. Best to count your blessings.
Always. And also, did anyone notice? Iggy said he looked out of the window earlier. I didn't bother because Iggy's pretty good at these things, so I just trust him. And the plane wasn't moving or something. I mean, that's not normal, right?
Not one bit. We should even at least be falling, or we should have landed. My business partner, Renee, was the first to point that out, I might add.
I told you we should have landed by now.
Oh, we should have, but this is not right. We should be dead for falling.
I mean, the plane should have fallen, but not that I want it to fall, because I don't obviously want anyone to die, but we should be splattered on the ground right now.
Maybe we are still falling. I don't know.
Or maybe we're dead and this is some kind of weird hell. I don't know.
Sister, this is getting too deep. It's getting too deep. Give me those pills. Give me
Well,
some.
you know, I do like to talk about the occult and all those kind of things. Oh, okay, have some more. There you go.
Thank you.
I don't think this would be hell. Now, my daddy was a preacher, and he told me quite a bit about hell. And
I mean, it's certainly hell for Iggy right now, sitting in coach. That was hilarious.
Oh, yeah. By the way, partner, you look pretty
gross.
Well, frankly, filthy, to be completely honest with you.
I know. Iggy, can you clean more? Have you... I mean, we were going to go and get some white spirit and some turpentine, because I've got some in the hold, and I was just going to douse him in it to wash him off. It's perfectly safe to use.
Well, you know, I do have my lucky switchblade also in my bag, to be completely honest with you. And I don't know if the old PBR is going to go that far. So a switchblade is... I would also like to go try to find my bag. Also, other people may have valuables or weapons within their bags, and being as they are barely alive, could be ours.
Everybody roll a spot hidden for me, please.
Oh no.
Hey, I actually succeeded on a spot hidden check.
Yay.
Oh, many people are succeeding.
That's everybody but Hannibal. Hannibal's still shaking off the effects of a near concussion as he received that backhand. But the rest of you notice the following. This section of the plane seems to be very similar. The first class passengers already passed through one of these sections. It's that same type of rotten vegetation. There are windows blown out in this section as well. And the area that formerly held the spiral staircase that rose to the second level now is just solid on the ground and solid at the ceiling, as if there never was or they had never been a spiral staircase. However, Renee, as you rolled very well on this, you do notice that there is one thing that's out of place near where the spiral staircase had formerly existed, and there seems to be almost like a silver bowl, like a salad bowl, if you will. And as you kind of peer into it and continue to examine it, you see the remnants of what appear to be human eyes that have been burned inside this bowl. There are 6 in total. Some of them are deflated and like popped and kind of half burned. Others are just merely scorched. It's a very strange smell. It reminds you of like aquatic life, almost like an ocean or being at an aquarium exhibit at the zoo. It has that kind of tingy, almost salty quality to it. The closer you get, it's actually preferable to the rotten smell of the vegetation, but it's distinct. It's got that acrid saltiness to it.
The rest of everything here looks like it's kind of been sitting and rotting for years. Does this have that sort of same?
With that roll, this is very fresh. It looks as if it has been placed here recently, to the point where it hasn't even kind of settled into this molasses as much. Once again, since that was a fantastic roll, it is enough for me to tell you that if you were to guess, just by you standing in this area and seeing things hit the ground, you would suspect it's probably only been here 30 minutes or so.
That's gross. Oh gosh. Yeah, I'm just conspicuously staring at this thing. this flippin' bowl full of burned eyeballs.
It stares back.
Yeah, it does. Oh, it's gonna win this contest.
Nope.
This I think is a bad place to be. Perhaps I should try to leave. The windows are blasted out here. What would we see if we looked out them?
I don't know.
I'm going to try to look out the window.
Okay. Anybody that wants to look out the window, I need you to do 2 things for me. I'm not going to require a spot hidden, but I want to know this.
Yeah.
The windows are blown out in several of those, and there's no rush of wind. If you want to look out just inside the plane looking out, I'll tell you one thing. If you want to stick your head outside the plane and look out, I'll tell you another.
I'm sticking my head out.
I'm sticking my head out. I'm now high, so hey.
Oh.
Yeah, I already took a wallop from that crazy man. Might as well see what else is out here.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I think Renee would suggest looking for a way out and go to look in the windows, but like not actually stick his head out. This is a bit much for him, and also like there's a really high hippie and a New Orleans guy already doing it.
So it's just Susan and Hannibal, correct?
Yeah, I'm going to be using this time to try and clean Iggy a little bit.
Okay,
just
you
'cause
clean Iggy.
it's
I'll look out the
really
window.
gross to be near him.
It's at this point that through his temporary insanity, Iggy realizes maybe it was Dottie is the one that he's going out with. So unsure. As Susan and Hannibal put their heads out like twin golden retrievers on a long car ride, for a moment, there's a hesitation, but then you pull your head outside of the fuselage of this 747. No wind hits. You don't feel like you're getting ready to get sucked out. And as you kind of pull out and look around, when you look towards the front of the plane, you see another plane. And this plane is nose to nose with the plane that you're in. and not just nose to nose, the front of them are crashed into one another. As you see that bent in, it's tough from this angle, but you can see the metal creaking around the front of your own craft as it buckles and splints and is kind of being compacted. This second plane is smaller than yours. It appears to be propeller driven. It's big, but it looks like it's at least 20 years old as it is crunched into the front. But they are frozen in place as if at the moment of impact, everything stopped.
You see the other plane, don't you?
I
Am I-
absolutely see that old
Good.
plane that has crashed into ours, and seemingly
Brilliant.
we are frozen in time.
Good. I
Which
just
is
thought
why
I
not?
maybe was hallucinating again. I mixed a few things. So that's fine. That's there. I mean, that's not good. And nothing's moving. Were we having a crash?
I mean, that certainly seems to be what my eyes are saying, but my
So-
eyes over the past 15 minutes have showed me some pretty wild
I
things
know,
that I'm
right?
not sure I can trust.
I mean, I'm really used to just seeing some pretty out there things. And some of this is beyond my normal expectation of any trip I've ever been on. So does that mean if we're now in this place, this saved us because we would be dead in a crash? Did we actually die? Maybe this is actually hell?
But why are all these other people here? Frozen. Or do you think they went to heaven? I wouldn't be surprised if I didn't make it.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if I didn't make it either. I mean, I totally don't understand why I'd be in hell at all. So there is a plane. We were crashing into plane, guys, and everything's frozen outside. So there's no crashing at the moment, but there is a plane.
It seems as if we are potentially frozen in time while crashing into some old 20-year-old propeller plane. Yeah, looking a bit accordion in the front.
Huh.
I'll say this too, Hannibal, as you are the last to kind of leave the area, as Susan went over and began to talk, as you pull your head back in, you hear something that sounds like a high pitch, and for a moment you feel a bit of wind cross your face, and all of you experience a slight shudder in the entirety of your plane. And as you're pulling your head back in, Hannibal, you see that the craft that you crashed into slightly turned as you kind of drop your head, and you're able to see the tail fin as it's at a slight angle. It's not a head on, it's like a slight angle to your craft. And you see the black symbol in the red field of the German swastika.
I bet. Well, of course it must be. I hate to break it to y'all. This might be a resurgence of a Nazi plot. That's a Nazi plane. I've seen it. I know it. There's a swastika on it. I don't like it. I don't like it one bit.
Oh. It doesn't sound particularly groovy.
No.
How do you break temporary insanity? I don't want to be insane anymore.
I don't want to keep cleaning myself.
Yeah, as you've
I
done
wanna
what
be
needs to be done, you're back. You're clean enough, and you're able to not have to worry about that anymore. You're still kind of, it's in the back of your mind, but a temporary insanity isn't an all driving force. A permanent one is. But yeah, you're able to come back, Scrat. You can
Okay.
interact.
Good. It can't be the Nazis. We beat them back years ago.
Yes.
They're done.
But you said it was a Nazi plane. That's a bit. I mean, darling is right. Actually, they did go some time ago. But if there's a plane out there, that's a bit strange. And it was a really old-fashioned plane, like proper. Like honestly, it was like from back then.
Oh yeah, old WW2, through and through.
And I promise you, this is him saying he saw it. I didn't see it, so it can't be that I'm high again. Although I actually am high, but less high than you'd think.
So the year is 1969. Renee is 35 years old. He would have grown up during Nazi occupation in France. So this is going to channel a little bit of anger and in him, and he's going to say, I had guns in my bag. I
So
will not. I want these.
Maybe we really should try and find the baggage hold then.
I have some rifles in my bag too.
You guys all feel another shudder as the plane beneath you, and all of you feel a whip of wind as it comes in from the outside, very strong for a second as it, and then it's over.
I say we do this quick. Quick.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm feeling really like this plane. If whatever's holding us still stops holding us, do we stop flying again, or do we plummet to the earth?
I don't want to find out. Quick, run.
Okay, let's go find stuff and do things.
Yes.
Yep. Let's go find stuff. Looking for guns and then parachutes.
Yes. 100% looking for a parachute. Now, my cousin Renee is 100% right.
I thought you said he was your business partner.
You could be
best friend, business partner, cousin.
And your cousin.
I don't know if I said business
but
partner.
You're not from the same country, so your cousin's French, yes? Is that correct?
He is Louisiana. We're all French. Let's go.
They are.
Fair enough. He's got a very good point.
Okay, let's find. Yes, how do we get down there? I've never been down there.
It's okay, sister. It's okay. Do you want another pill? Would that help?
I need another pill.
There you go,
I'd
darling.
like to go insane now, please.
Thank you. You'll be fine.
How many pills do you guys have left? I know that Hannibal has one in his pocket. I'm assuming the rest have been consumed. You guys
I think that's it.
3.
Yeah, I'd say that's the pills
So,
gone. She's had
pills
3.
are
I've
gone?
had 2.
Okay, and Hannibal has one in his pocket. I'll let you guys know this. You don't have to roll sanity anymore. I ask you to roll
already
you guys are no, you're shielded for the current time being with your experimental pills.
Oh, nice.
In the essence of time, what we'll say here is you guys are able to find the one of the service entrances. There is a small, almost like a dumbwaiter that goes down to the cargo hold, and you guys can actually ride down into the cargo hold. When you get down there, you find all of your bags except for whoever's bag was voted out on the viewer decision. That's yours?
Dottie's bag is gone.
Oh, Dottie's bag. Dottie, you do not find your bag. You guys are looking around. You find the everything that's in your other bags, the switchblade, the guns with the blanks in them, the rifles. Everything is found. Anything that you had in those where the scalpels are found from the art implements, you can outfit yourselves accordingly. However,
I'm just sat on the floor painting myself with body paint right now.
Yeah. I get the snake back. Well, snake in a cage. I need a pun name for it, like F. Scott Fitzgerald or something.
But
I'm sorry,
don't do anything else. That's it.
Right. You're going to have to call F. Scott Fitzgerald Moses because he too is frozen.
Oh, no. Oh.
Yeah. So he is a snake staff at this point, as opposed
call
to.
him Asclepius.
All right. So you guys are able to outfit yourselves. The one thing that you do not find are parachutes. This is a public transportation. There aren't any parachutes to your knowledge aboard this 747. However, everybody make what's called an idea roll. This is an intelligence check. So just go up to your intelligence and roll it. And I will remind everyone that you do have critical success should you wish to use them at any point. I'm not saying you should use them now. I'm just saying just remember, because we're heading towards the end of the session.
I'll go ahead and use mine.
I'll use it.
I'll use it
I'd
on
rather
the
have
idea.
a critical success on something else.
He's an ideas man. I think he's being quick as I'm tucking my hidden money and IDs in, because who knows how we're gonna get out of here.
Well, what I'll tell you is that since other people had success on this one, save your crit, because you're going to need that you're going to get the same information, because enough of you do this. Yeah. So Iggy and the twins, almost as one, the three of you come up, and especially Susan, who looked outside. A military craft like the German plane would carry parachutes.
That's such a good idea.
We need to get out of this plane and onto the other plane. This is a genius idea. I think it might be the drugs helping me here. Totally calm and collect.
It's definitely the
plane. Onto the other plane. Yes. We can
a
steal
shiver goes through the plane beneath your feet. This one lasts for about 3 to 4 seconds, and you feel yourselves lurch forward in the direction of the craft, and you hear a whine and a rumble as if something started and then was quickly suppressed again, as a begins, and you hear this as the entire thing shakes and shivers.
With shotgun over arm, Ignatius, I believe matters are pressing. Shall we hurry on up to the other plane then?
Great idea. Let's do it. Other plane.
I couldn't agree more, but we do have a bit of a practical question. How are we going to get from our plane to the other plane? I don't know what the cockpit looks like, which would leave the option of climbing onto the fuselage outside.
Let's just go for a window. Nothing's moving right now, so it's all stationary. So it's not like we're going to get blown off. Everybody's balance seems to be fairly okay. So it's just like literally get out, climb across, climb down, jump over to the other plane, and climb in. It's fairly simple, right?
We could do it. I totally know we can do it.
It sounds so simple.
It really is.
Maybe
we thought it all out. It's going to be amazing.
See it in my mind.
Look,
can't you, sister darling, see it in your mind?
Yes, I can see it. I can see us all climbing. It's going to be amazing.
And jump. Perfect.
I 100% am really picking up on your enthusiasm, but as my brother-in-law Renee stated, it's not going to be that simple.
Your cousin is your brother-in-law? That's some incestuous stuff going on there.
I never once said Renee was my cousin. Always brother-in-law.
Don't judge.
But I'm really confused now. May well be telling the truth. I'm as high as a kite. I can't remember what happened 5 seconds ago. So let's do this.
We could at least check the cockpit, because the cockpit, the crashing may have created a nice easy ladder or bridge.
A hole, and we can climb through. And you're already covered in muck, so it won't matter if your clothes get ripped. Yes. We're gonna have to buy a new suit for you anyway. Several new suits.
Now that's absolutely genius. So I like where your head's at. If we make it out of here, I think we could, have a couple opportunities together.
In his case, he'd have a spare suit. Can I put a spare suit on?
Yes,
absolutely. You are impeccable. You're back to feeling like yourself. The temporary insanity is gone. You're clean. This Iggy is clean.
Oh, Iggy, you look much better now. Much better.
Oh, yeah, that's right. So cockpit check. Get out. Get onto the other plane. Jump. Save ourselves. Freedom. Away from madness. Deal? Plan?
Let's go.
Give it.
And as we're walking to get ready, I'm gonna lean into to Susan and say, just between you and me, is a family looks like a what's it called? Olympic rings.
Oh, I see. I completely understand now. Okay. Let's just kind of clown around.
Mostly on his side, Louisiana.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say your side obviously is fairly, more normal. Good genes, bad genes. Totally get it. No more will be said.
You two laughing about something back there?
Your
Yeah.
brother-in-law is the funniest. Oh, genuinely, such a funny gentleman.
Yeah, Hannibal, all you hear is ha 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 coming from the Okay, so as you guys get back up to the area that you had been in that formerly has the bowl of eyes in it, you have access outside. However, to get up to the cockpit, you would need to find an alternate route or some means of getting to the top floor, as any access to the top has been somehow removed.
Susan, sister, boost me up out the window. We can go. We can go.
Okay, so if I boost you out the window, you can climb up, and then do you think you could pull? Oh, should we send someone stronger up first for pulling everyone else up?
I feel strong, sister. I am so in the zone.
Okay, fine. That sounds like a great idea. I'll boost you up. You pull me up, and then we'll get Iggy up, and then the rest. Yeah.
Yes.
Plan?
Let's do it.
This stream's endorsement of recreational drug use to fight off madness is incredible.
Welcome to Cthulhu, where you want a bottle of laudanum before you want a revolver.
It's true.
I have found the way to get around Cthulhu. Get drugs.
Yeah.
That's it. You've won. You've already won. Okay. So as you guys are going out, here's what I will want from you. You look down and you are 40,000 feet in the air, or what looks like 40,000 feet in the air to you. You're not sure if you can't gauge. You're way up there. And as you're looking, you'll do notice too that night has begun to creep through, as if maybe this is the only area that's affected by whatever's going on. But as you guys stick your heads out, especially Susan notices there is a slight breeze, as if before everything was still. Now your hair is sort of buffeted as you look out. You're in like a rock power ballad from the 80s. And you go out and you're going to kind of press Dottie up to get onto the top of the plane.
Yep.
As you do that, I want you to roll together are going to roll a strength check.
Okay.
Let's see how both of you do.
Oh.
The twins are in fact in the zone, as with a textbook. I am so high.
It's amazing.
We should do this every weekend.
I know, right? Every plane flight.
Oh, fantastic. Okay, so as Susan just textbook, clean and press up, Dottie, you're now on top of the plane. From this, you can perfectly see a straight shot down towards where the cockpit would be. As you're on top of this plane, you can also see that the other plane is at an angle and kind of crunched up. And there is on the top of the other plane an open hatch that seems to just be lulled open against the top. Again, a shutter kind of goes through everything, but you're braced where you are. You have the ability to, there's nothing to hold on to up here, but you're pretty sure that you can reach down and help the next person up. So what you'll be doing is you'll be adding 25% to any roll that comes forward. So who's next?
Sister.
And I will remind you of your successes. But
I'm going to go up first. Okay, so is it strength roll again?
Now, is anybody helping kind of press Susan? Okay, so here's what we do. Anybody that's helping roll a strength, Susan roll a strength, and we're going to add 25%. I'll do you guys just roll strength, and we'll see, make sure everything happens. Okay, so as Renee kind of does the clean and press, Susan, you reach up and Dottie grabs you, but your drugs start to wear off a little bit. As you said, you only took 3 pills or 2 pills as opposed to Dottie's 3. And for a moment you realize, what in the world am I doing? And you start to slip, but Dottie, who's still on top of the world, grabs you at the last second and pulls you up top. But there's another shudder as the twins are on top.
Oh God,
Who would like
sister,
to
I'm
go
actually
next?
sober. It's terrifying. I'm going to pull a spliff out from behind my ear and just start smoking it. It's my last spliff.
You notice that the smoke is whipping past you now as the wind begins to increase.
We need to get everyone up here now.
Yes.
We both going to
next
reach
to
down
you?
for the next.
Renee, I think it's you.
I'm gonna keep helping people get out.
Okay, who's next out the window then?
I say
Iggy,
that's
darling.
after you, gentlemen.
Yes, I should go and check on them, I suppose.
We should get Iggy home. Dad will be angry.
Yes.
There's a lot of money there.
I will walk forward and try and climb out this window then.
Okay, anybody? Renee is going to continue to help. So Renee and Iggy each roll strength checks for me. We're going to have a plus 25% as the combined strength of the twins are able to get you out. 25% helps here. Iggy, it takes a little bit to negotiate you out of there, more because you don't want to brush up against the side of the plane as you're being pulled up. It's more of I've already gotten myself clean, don't want to ruin it.
Mm-hmm.
You're able to pulled up, but as soon as you get pulled up again, that long kind of 3-second shudder comes through the plane, and anyone that's looking towards the site sees the metal buckle and lean further in, and you start to see flames lick out between the two planes as it's almost frozen, this kind of gaseous freeze of flame.
I'd
Next
like
one,
to try and
quickly.
run towards the hatch because I'm still high and that looks like fun. So I'm going to go that way. See you later.
Dottie begins charging the crash site. Okay, who's up next? Inside the plane currently, we still have Renee and his brother-in-law, Hannibal.
Brother-in-law, cousin, business partner.
Nephew.
Best friend. Best friend, Renee.
All the things.
Yeah, gonna help you out of the plane.
Sure. You could go first.
Just one of you go quickly.
All right. You know what? I changed my mind. Go ahead and help me out if you would.
Yeah, I got you.
Okay, strength from Renee, strength from his best friend, and plus 25% because you still have Iggy and Susan. Dottie is wandering towards the site of the pretty lights. Nice, without any problem whatsoever. The final bench press as Hannibal just pops up. This is old hat being on top of a plane, I guess. And as he pops up on top of the plane, the stuntman being the only one still inside, a shudder racks through again. And at this point, anybody that turns to look will see the silhouette of Dottie as she's running towards this point. And you can actually see for a moment in a very weird anti-Michael Bay moment as she's running towards an explosion that's kind of starting, and she's not frozen but running towards it, but everything else is frozen and kind of front lighting her.
Iggy, do you have this? I'm gonna go to sister. I'm just gonna leave Iggy to get the last one up, and I'm gonna run to Susan, to Dottie.
Okay, so the twins are now in various degrees of progressing towards right. Okay, now to get out of this one, who's going to be helping Renee climb out, as Renee is not going to be able to be boosted by anyone. So Renee, the stuntman, is going to have to get into the window well, jump, and hope somebody can grab and then pull them up. So
as he is my cousin
And brother-in-law.
and brother-in-law, best friend, business partner, I will try to catch, and I'll use my critical success on that.
okay, so as Hannibal is ready and prepared with cat-like reflexes and bull-like strength to pull up Renee. Renee, you need to make a dex check as you leap, or a jump. Anything you want to use, jump or dex, to get up there.
Let's see. I'm just.
They're on to us, guys.
Oh yeah, they are. They are hot on our tails. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna do a dex.
Yeah, my ride's here.
Oh, I'm gonna spend my luck. I can spend 10 points of luck and then still make that.
Okay. You jump up, and at the last second, the wind picks up, and all of a sudden, a full force gale hits and completely moves Renee from the position that he was in as he's begun swept back along the fuselage, but somehow Hannibal compensates with incredible reflexes, snags his best friend, business partner, cousin, brother-in-law from the wrist, and uses the momentum of the gale to flip him up behind him onto the fuselage. The two of you are there. Hannibal takes a knee with the twist. Renee kind of lands, used to taking and dispersing fall momentum, and the wind stops, but you guys stop and are staring at one another as Renee, you almost got swept away in a awful situation, but Hannibal was able to correctly use a crit at the correct time. So you guys are standing there. Iggy, you've witnessed all of this Cirque du Soleil moment. And you guys look forward as the crinkling of the plane continues. And the twins are, Susan's almost there. Dottie, you get to the site of impact. As soon as you get there, you see that the ground beneath you is warped and dipped and valleyed and hilled. And there is frozen in the air puffs of flame. And you realize at this point, to get to the other plane, you're going to have to go through that. But boy, oh boy, do those lights look pretty.
Okay. Let's go. Yeah, I'm gonna go.
Okay, so as you run through, Susan, you see that your sister's clothing begins to catch on fire. It doesn't cause too much. You just see singeing and smoke as she kind of leaps through, much like somebody waving a hand through a candle flame. It doesn't cause any permanent damage, but it just seems to be, it's much bigger than a flame. It's like several feet across. She runs through and you see elements of her flowers kind of singe and smoke up, but it's kind of trippy. It's very Age of Aquarius. And so as she jumps across to the other plane, you get there, and then everybody else, the guys, you make it to the site of the impact seconds later. Susan, you have the first to act. What would you like to do?
I'm going to go to is she gone across, hasn't she?
She's on the other plane heading towards a trap door.
Going across other plane, sister. I'm worried because she's still high, and it suddenly got into slightly more practical mode here.
Okay. So with two of them, with 2 points, you jump through. You save a couple singes come your way. I'm assuming everybody at this point is following through. So as you guys jump through the flame one after the other, you each experience 2 points of damage as you kind of jump through and just are not worried about it. The shaking and the shuddering continues as the planes begin their compaction between one another. And as you guys jump down in, you realize that in this old military plane, it's empty. There's nobody aboard. And as you get in there, you realize the side bomb bay, or what would be the cargo hold door, is open and lined against the wall. And here's where everybody's let's make it worse donations come into play. There are 3 parachutes.
I used my critical hit to grab one real quick.
I used my other critical hit to grab the other one.
Okay, so the twins grab, put on 2 of the chutes, and I'm assuming jump out of the plane, or are you waiting for anybody else?
No,
if you can get one, great.
See you on the downside. Grab my sister's hand, and we just jump together.
I don't know how to use one.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, I could have shown them how to use it.
Crumbling and pulling cords and things.
So yeah, you just see the 2 twins jump off, and it is the 3 gentlemen that are staring at one chute.
After you.
Well, seems like we're gonna have a gentleman's standoff on who wants to be the most hospitable.
Ignacio's going to jump out of the plane without the chute, aiming for the 2 girls.
We'll catch you.
And he will use his critical success to try and catch hold of them.
So you're gonna point break this? You're gonna go out and try to?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So we'll say this: who do you want to catch up to as they jumped out together? You can't tell them apart.
Yeah,
so.
no, I can't. So I'm gonna aim for Dottie, but which one I get to, I don't know.
Okay, yeah, we'll say that you get to Dottie and then realize it's Susan. And so as Susan and Iggy are tumbling through, Dottie, you see that they're doing a weird dance as you're just high as a kite. There is a shoot
Whoa.
left between Renee and Hannibal. What would you like to try?
What do you say, partner?
Let's see. You still have a knife on you.
I do. Good old Wanda Jean.
We can attempt to attach to the same parachute.
Okay, I like where your head's at. I like it.
I do not know if it will work. Whoever is on the outside will probably suffer damage, if that makes sense.
Well,
But we could do it. It's possible.
sounds like you know how to work a parachute, so I'll go ahead and take the outside.
Okay. And I'm gonna try to jury rig because even though they only have packs here, I imagine there's rigging in a bomber plane like this, like the netting on the side of the wall that people would use as a stabilizer. So we might be able to rip that off and then jury rig a multiple thing. And I'm gonna say, so if we survive this, we have drowning to look forward to. So.
You know what? He might be. Hold on. Just one moment.
Sure.
In the cargo hold, is there an inflatable raft of
Ooh.
some sort?
That'd be great.
Roll a luck roll for me. 50 and below there is. 50 and above there isn't. So just a
Okay.
D100. By God, there's an inflatable raft.
Sweet. So yeah,
It's got a big swastika on the outside of it, but here's an inflatable raft.
Like we could also inflate this halfway through if we want to.
that is not a good idea. Let's wait till we hit the bottom to do that.
Got it.
You know, have they not jumped off so quickly? We could have grabbed the radio as well, but I don't think we have the time.
Yeah, as if on cue, the crafts shudder and you feel a whip of wind that does not cease. It just begins to intensify, and you feel the craft heading into the other as it wrinkles and buckles. And now is the time.
Those fucking cowards, I say, and then we're gonna jump off together. And I'd like to use my critical success for this.
Okay, so as we pull back, and as Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin are on the surface of the moon, unbeknownst to them, carrying an artifact in their lunar lander that was placed there by somebody who was also aboard the craft that you were on. You guys fly through the air as everything resumes and begins to take shape. And as the astronauts look towards home, if they could see so far, they would see 3 parachutes open. But that's the end of our tale today.
Woo!
Thank you so much, Greg. That was such a trip. That's amazing.
Great. That was so great. I loved it.
Would it be okay if Greg, would it be okay if I leave you to do the wrap up? If you could like conduct the wrap up so I can go and get ready for the next stream, would that be cool? Don't have to say
Absolutely,
this.
man. Go right ahead.
Thank you
Yes,
so much. I'll
right,
get ready for the next one.
Bye, Scrap.
Absolutely. Yep. Scrap go quick change operation. Okay, so everybody, thank you very much for the donations. They came into play quite a bit. I knew that there was going to be a point break moment or a tandem jump of some kind, but it helps out a lot to be able to add madmen and parachutes whenever somebody donates to a fantastic cause. Please continue to do so, as Alice and Adam are doing a fantastic job with raising this money. It is a good thing. It is a very good thing. And what better way to role play than to role play for a good cause and a good thing on a Saturday. But let's go around and talk to everybody, see if they enjoyed themselves, and see where we can find them online. So let's start with the twins. Why not? Dottie, how are you doing? And
I made it. That was really good fun. I've not played Cthulhu before, and I survived, so I say win. Yes, and I got to play myself mainly, but yeah, it was fun. Yes, it's very, I really love the story, and I love playing with all of you guys as well, some for the first time, and I've played with the cat a couple of times now, but yeah, it was really good fun. You can find me on Twitter at Geek Girl Bookworm, which I think is like above my head. And I chat D&D mainly, RPGs, and miniature painting is my jam. Yeah, and that's the main place you can find me. I'm on Facebook and things, but there's rubbish, so don't go on Facebook. Twitter's way better. So find me on Twitter. We can talk rubbish together.
Nice. Yes. So Rubbish Talk. Find everyone on Twitter. That's where the rubbish lies. Let's go over your mirror image. Susan, Kat, how did you do today? Did you like it? And where can we find you?
Genuinely, that was Greg. That was brilliant. I loved it. Thank you. That is obviously my first Call of Cthulhu. You are actually a fantastic keeper. So thank you for taking us on a fun ride. I had so much fun. It was great to play with the guys I've not played with before. You are both awesome as well. And obviously Scrat and Julie, who I've played with before, who are also awesome. This was a great game. It was so much fun. Thank you. I am, you can find me on Twitter. Again, it's above my head at Cthulhu. A lot of basically rubbish talk, just random, and D&D and other, RPGs and tabletop games and just geeky things. So come find me on Twitter and chat. It will be great. But thank you for today. It's been awesome.
Awesome. And let's go up to our French stuntman, Renee. Renee, how did you like today? And where can we find you online?
Oh, I was really hoping to die that time, but that's okay. So that was a whole lot of fun. This is maybe my second time playing Call of Cthulhu, and I don't know, it just hit all the right notes, and like maybe DM for me like all the time. I feel super spoiled. So my name is Marcy Vellon, and you can find me on Twitter, the handle above my head at Felon Marcy. I'm the GM for the Owl of Lycia, which is coming back next month, and I'm just going to be on a high from that session for the rest of the day, and I'll probably be watching the next one and donating some time as well. But for the meantime, I think I need a brief reprieve, so that's it for me.
Right. You'll be on a high from the day, much like the twins. But let's go down to your best friend, partner, cousin, brother-in-law, Hannibal. John, how did you do today? And where can we find you online, brother?
Everyone, I loved this game. I've been a Cthulhu fan for a long time, but I've never played Call of Cthulhu role-playing. Greg, you did awesome. I loved the story. I was so excited to play with all of you. Some of you I just met. Some of you guys I've been fans of for a while. I'm attached to Hannibal. Now I want to know more. But I'm
Hannibal is so good.
Me too, man.
Hannibal is awesome. He's just so good. He's so cool.
I loved all of your characters. This hodgepodge bunch can try to fight off the badness later. But you guys can find me again, Twitter up there, Castle Mac Sean. You can find the whole Castle Mac crew with Castle Mac and then their names. But Sundays and Tuesdays are the days we consistently stream D&D, but we've got a bunch more kind of coming up when they can.
Awesome, brother. And I know we got to go. So as for me, I'm Grimjack21502 on the Twitches and the Twitters. If you want to follow me there. If you want to do some Cthulhu action, we do some today from 2 to 4. So kind of switch between Scrat and I, or save mine for the VOD. I do Pulp Cthulhu tonight on the Greyhawk channel from 9 until whenever. I do Valley of Soot and Skull. Tomorrow I do Project Athena, which is my other Pulp Cthulhu show from 7 to 9 on my channel. And then next Friday, from 12 to 2, we do Conan Age Undreamed Of with Scrat, with Alice. And from 2 to 4 on Fridays, we do Firefly Tales from the Big Damn Verse. So just follow me on Twitter and we'll talk a whole bunch of stuff. But I had a great time, chat. You were awesome and excellent. This cast was fantastic. I absolutely adored every single character. I knew what I wanted to do with the characters, which is great as a keeper. And then you guys went in completely different directions. You got high. It's the 6th. It was the best.
I honestly thought Scrat was going to end up playing himself.
So did Scrat. Okay, I thought that too. I was like looking at Greg, like, I'm just scraping. This is fine. Okay, I'm just scraping.
Right? Yeah, it could have gone way worse. But tempered it a bit. But anyway, guys, I had a great time. Thanks so much for playing.
Thank you so much, all of you. And
Thank
Greg,
you.
that was an amazing job. I think all of Greg's streams, every stream I've ever been in with Greg as DM, player, or anything, they're just always absolutely amazing. And the rest of you as well. Marcy, thank you so much for not only playing, but also running Cypher System with us. And hopefully we'll get back to that again later in the year. Kat, thank you. I've actually got to meet Kat for the first time a couple of weeks ago, but we literally spoke to each other for like 5 seconds. We were awful at it. We were both crap.
Basically, purposely, we're like, oh, good, I get to meet you, and then talk to other people all evening and not each other. But it was a pleasure for briefly. You are as dearly wonderful in real life as you are on the stream.
And as well, Angeli and Sean, thank you guys so much. You guys. Okay, I know the other stream are waiting, so I need to go and get them. You guys, I'm gonna close up. I'll see you guys soon. Thank you.
Bye.